Player 2 has joined the game.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 165 of the Two Player Co-op Podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts here, Kevin, along with my brother from my mother's shore.
How are we doing?
Fantastic. 165. You know, last week I was afraid I said 163 again because I didn't change it at the top.
Oh.
It still said
But you did say
163,
it right.
but I said 164. I was like, well, luckily I got that right.
That is correct.
That is correct. This is the first time you're seeing us. This is the Two Player Co-op Podcast, where just about every week two brothers get together to tell you everything you need to know about
I didn't even mean to do that.
in the world of video games. If you like that, make sure you go over to youtube.com/2playercoop. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video with your friends and families. Even if you only listen on audio services, I was saying listen in audio in my head at the same time. Listen on audio services around the globe or multiverse.
We
share the video with your friends, family, and everything else.
Crept our way north of 900 now. We're at 905 subs. Inching
is the
ever
year.
closer to that golden number. I don't know why it's like golden number. I think I meant like magic number.
Yeah.
Same thing. So really, if you know anybody that might want to listen, or at least just want to sub and not listen, but preferably listen / watch, see if you can get us some subs. We're really close. We really want to hit that 1,000. I think we'll hit it this year regardless.
I think we will, yeah.
But I'd rather hit it sooner rather than later, so we can actually start, showing up in searches and maybe make a little money here and there.
That magical YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, I love it.
But speaking of money, if you really like us, you can go to patreon.com/2playercoop. What?
Has Aunt Sue subbed?
I think she subbed a long time ago.
Okay, just checking.
You didn't do the hands. It's too late now. It's already gone. Just like our producer, Steve Appleton, and Aunt Sue did. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to call her Aunt Sue. Our aunt pledged, and I'm very proud about that. I'm not just going to call her Sue. I'm going to call her Aunt Sue. As well as our affiliates, Logan Wilkinson and James Solar, and our Two-Player Co-op partner, Matt Mitchell. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to us. I will never stop. That was my chair. I promise. We got to get, speaking of Patreon, we got to get new chairs. Like, did you see the thing I sent you about how the chiropractic? If you don't know,
now you know.
You can maybe
These
kind
are
of
just
see.
cheap. They're like folding chairs. They're like slightly padded WWE chairs.
This is what we're podcasting on, and what we've been podcasting on for, dear God.
So I hope y'all like the show
Over 4
because
years
we're
now.
ruining our back.
We are. My butt bone hurts. My coccyx, as it were.
As it were.
We need to buy new chairs. We need to also get. We've been talking about it. There's still shadows. We're still in the shadows. We're trying to fix that. We keep doing different configurations with the thing. I was watching some video today, and it's like, oh, just have umbrellas. And I'm like, we use cheap lights. You can't hook a photography umbrella to these lights we have. Again, sometime now it'd be really funny to do a vlog of our setup here amongst all the. We'll pick this room up sometime. That is we will do a vlog of our setup sometime. Literally,
that'll be a very short.
But
vlog.
But that's why I like it. Just like literally anybody can do this. But I would like to have this room picked up a little bit because we're in the Playroom recording studios now.
You're in the
Playroom. We sounded more like SDP there. It's just a mess. But anyways, what was I even talking about? Oh, yeah, the shadows. We're going to try to get rid of the shadows. I got to figure out a way.
I'm guessing they bug us a lot more than they bug anybody.
Yeah,
out
nobody
there.
probably cares. It's just I'm so, like, audio visual file that, like, if anything's not perfect, it just bugs me. If you don't like the shadows or if you like them, comment below, let us know. So yeah, if you like merch, by the way, you can go to teespring.com/stores.
By the way, there's
Two-Player Co-op.
Still any unclaimed, that's not the right word, but have we sold merch that we do not know the purchaser of yet? Or did we solve all the riddles? Matthew Riddle.
I don't know, bro. I don't, because I haven't checked the site in a while. I think they owe us like $7 or something.
Oh,
we gotta cash that in so we can get new chairs.
Cut the check.
Yeah, but if you've bought a shirt and you haven't let us know.
And if you haven't bought a shirt, buy a shirt.
Also that I'm getting blown up with fantasy football.
Why? It's over. It's over.
Because Thomas is saying, where's my trophy? I'm saying, where's my 50? By the way, we hate fantasy football here.
Oh, what were your transaction fees?
24. So I think you had more than me.
I think I was at 26.
I think Bill was like 30 or 30.
I thought for sure I would have been over 30.
I would have had another one if I realized how the waivers worked that last week. We've got a thing. So fantasy football ends week 16, but then week 17 to keep everybody interested in the last week of the season. I know this is old by this point, but I forgot to talk about it last week. You just match up. We've got 2 divisions, so 1 plays 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. You get it. Whoever has the highest margin of victory that week wins $50, and I actually won. I was shocked.
Well, when you play against people who have like half a lineup.
Well, no, I was the one that was missing 2 dudes, disguised as other dudes. No, the guy I was playing had everybody. I think. Who was I even playing?
I don't think so. You played Keenan.
Oh yeah, who didn't?
He at least didn't start a quarterback.
He didn't have a quarterback. Yeah, that helps. And that's why I said years ago we should change that rule. Now Terry's kind of like, well, maybe we just do like 1 QB, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, something, just some way to change it up. I'm like, yeah, but you got to be able to edit the lineups, the lineup requirements, because otherwise I can just flub and it's, I don't know, it's weird. Also, we Twitch every once in a while at twitch.tv/2player_co-op.
It should just be highest scoring team, because then you're not dependent on anybody
But that's
else.
what I said. But then what Terry said, and I kind of get it, was that. But then teams that didn't make the playoffs, however, I just had a I had a good scoring week anyways, even with 2 people not playing. He said it puts those teams at a disadvantage. I'm like, well, kind of, but
then it also puts certain people at an advantage if they play people
Correct.
who are in that. I mean, either way, you're at a disadvantage.
And also, a lot of times, the teams that did really well in fantasy football, those players might not be playing week 17. You know,
right,
what
and
I
if
mean?
you really want to try to win week 17,
you got to pick somebody
week
up.
17 be no fee, no transaction fees or something. So you'd be like, the people out there, go ahead, try to make your best team. Like, encourage people to just set their best lineup, and that's what I think they should do. Maybe that's the ticket.
Maybe that is
say highest scoring team, but say no transaction fees after the Super Bowl. Make your best team, have at it, and then it's just highest scoring team.
Write that down. No, I mean you get the thing. So yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. We made it to 2020. We may not make it to 2021, but we're not here to talk about World War III, WCW. But we're pumped for 2020, as long as World War III does not happen. I'm very excited. We renewed. Okay, that was Sean. Okay, we renewed our SoundCloud, so we're not going anywhere. It auto-renewed. I mean, we weren't going anywhere anyways, but I just got an email yesterday. It was like, hey, we auto-renewed your SoundCloud at the discount. And I was like, crap. I forgot we did start that right at the beginning of last year. So audio podcasts will continue unabated. So will video podcasts. So will Let's Plays. And so will, for the foreseeable future, Versus. Versus is back.
Thank you, Aunt Sue.
Thank you, Aunt Sue, for getting us over the $50 mark. Our first matchup, the winner of the poll was Castlevania 1 versus Castlevania 3. I was shocked.
What did it end up? Was it pretty close?
It was
the
pretty
three
close.
were always pretty close.
They were
tiny or no turtles that was getting no love.
Yes,
that's shocking.
Yeah, I don't know how to find it because I want to keep this up here. But yeah, it was. Oh, I can find it on here. Yeah, the 4 options. I got to try to do this while I talk. The 4 options were Tiny Toons, Super Nintendo versus Genesis, X-Men 2 versus X-Men: The Clone Wars, Turtles in Time versus Turtles in Time Reshelled, which that was the lowest, which was actually kind of surprising. But I think that would be a very fun one to do. And Castlevania 1 versus Castlevania 3. For a while, X-Men versus the Clone Wars was leading. But the votes ended up 37% for Castlevania, 26% for X-Men versus X-Men 2, 22% for Tiny Toons, and 15% for Turtles 4 versus Reshelled. So, Castlevania 1, we're going to be recording that. No, Siri. No, go away. No, what's happening? Gosh. Soon, depending on how long this podcast is, maybe tonight, but I got a feeling this is going to be a long one. So we'll record it soon. It'll be going up before the end of the month. I'm very excited to bring it back. We've got a little bit of, not really format changes, but just AV changes on it. Yeah. Perfecting the formula.
Beautifications.
We're getting better with OBS. We're getting better with knowing how to do stuff. Shout out to Sean for what you'll see with one of the backgrounds and everything, because I still don't know how you did that.
I'm good in PowerPoint. I did the whole intro.
Everything you see on this channel is either, and that's the other thing. This is why we really should do a vlog and just talk like what we do and stuff. Like we use iMovie, which costs you I think $7 if you on a Mac, not on an iPad.
Mine came with it.
It did. Well, I think we had already bought it previously before we got our iMac.
Okay.
So free or $7. We use GarageBand, either free or $7. We use OBS, which is free. You got to buy the equipment. Luckily, we already had a video camera to use. This lovely 4K camera that's 15 years old at this point.
Half a K.
We spent money on the mixer. I mean, it's really the equipment you got to spend money on. But if you happen to already have mics and stuff, then just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Before we get into everything else, and we have an idea for a new show too. That I do want to get to that. I think we can do that once a month. And I'm going to try to make it work. I'll just say what it is. Overdubs.
Okay.
I'm excited for that. It's going to be real. I think you might not think so, but I think it's going to be really funny. I don't want to say I said what it is, but I'm not going to say what it is until we get to
what it is.
Because this has an HDMI out, so I think we can use this and that TV to have a 2-screen setup so we can make it work. You know what I mean?
I just don't know that we're as witty and clever as you might like to think we are. Because I'm picturing how this goes, and I'm like, that's going to be.
It could
tough.
be bad. It could be we do it one time.
This may never make the light of day.
We might
be a Patreon exclusive.
We might do a dry run, and then we're like, that was bad. But I mean, I think we should probably drink for those.
Oh yeah,
we would have to because I'm not smart enough.
Or we just do drunk history.
Oh yeah, we need to do that too.
Because that would work too.
Not the
full production, but just
get my kids to act out Solid Snake
story
and Big Boss.
of all of the Metal Gear games.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun, and just make it interview style where you're just I'm interviewing you about Zelda or Final Fantasy or whatever. Pick a Final Fantasy game. That'd be fun. So CES is going on right now, and I was really hoping I wasn't, but there were all these rumors that they were going to show the PS5 at this thing. So here's what happened. Stop texting me. I got to put that on mute. First they came out and they talked about the PlayStation, the leaps between the generations. Then they talked about some numbers. The PS4 has now sold 106 million units. So that's up about 5.5 million since they broke, obviously, 100 million.
Probably right around 6 million since they broke 100.
But they were a little bit over it, I think. 1.15 billion PlayStation 4 games have been sold. So that's an attach rate of 10 per system.
That's impressive.
That is, because last time when Nintendo last put out their numbers, they were right around a 7, I think. 7 games per system.
I have now, probably third. My PS4 now is probably third place in terms of my own personal attach rate. And for a while, I just never had that many games. And then it just seems, basically since we started doing the podcast, and I still don't play a fraction of what some people play.
You go,
but when I was looking at my games, all of a sudden I'm like, holy crap, I've accumulated a lot of PS4 games over the years.
You need to look at in our closet down there where I've got all my physical games lined up. And we did it a while ago where we went through all the games we have either digitally.
Now, do you think we had more? I think we've talked about this. Do we have more Genesis games than we ever had Nintendo games? I think we did.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm almost wondering if I have more PS4 games than we ever had Nintendo games. Because when I think back, I don't know that we had that many Nintendo games.
I have 42 physical PlayStation games.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't have that.
I have a total.
But I bet I have 25 or 30.
Counting, I hope I updated this number. I feel like I didn't update it. No, I did with those two. Physical and this doesn't count PS Plus. This just count games that either I've gotten as a gift or actually purchased, including the games that my kids have on it. 92 total games. So I'm going to hit 100 this year.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So you're welcome, PlayStation. I'm helping out that attach rate. What else? 5 million PSVR units have now been sold. I think last time they said it was 4 million, so that's cool. They have 103 million monthly active users. That would make sense because there's 106 million out there, so there's 3 million that are just collecting dust, I guess. And there's 38.8 million PS Plus subscribers. Great. They also revealed the logo for
That's actually really impressive.
Yeah.
103 out of 106. Because I don't know how they're measuring that, but you got to figure some of the people that bought those 106 million PlayStations have probably bought 2.
Traded them in, yeah.
Because, yeah. So I don't know if those count. If I buy a PlayStation and I trade it into GameStop and get my $2, and then you go in and buy that.
It doesn't count for me because it's just selling them new.
Okay.
But it still counts that you bought 2. You didn't lose one.
And then, so I traded that in and bought a Pro.
Correct. So I think that's why it stays so high.
But now we're both active user. Well, but see, that's 1-to-1. Well, I don't know. Either way.
But someone's still using yours.
Yeah.
So now there's 2 because the one you sold to GameStop, somebody's logged on to PS Network. There's probably been maybe 20 million that have been traded in. Yeah. That's probably a high number. I'm just making that up. But Jim Ryan also revealed the logo for PS5, and it's that.
Shocking.
It's exactly. I'm not even gonna insert it here because it's the PS font, and there's a 5 after it. Then they said the PlayStation 5 features for the hardware are 3D audio sound, haptics and adaptive triggers, ultra high-speed SSD, hardware-based ray tracing, and ultra HD Blu-ray. All the things that we already knew. And then Jim Ryan says we'll have more to share in the coming months. So they announced nothing.
They announced a logo.
Absolutely. Then everybody knew was going to be the logo because they haven't changed they changed it because PS3 it started out. They haven't changed it since the PS3 Slim. That's when they started using that font. Because remember when the PlayStation 3 came out, it was the Spider-Man font.
Oh, that's right.
The Sony Spider-Man font.
The Pont font. That's true. I forgot about that.
Yep. I got a lot of just random stuff here. I did a beer taste test this Saturday when I was over at Terry's house.
Of?
Terry texted me Saturday. He's like, hey, would you be up for doing a light beer blind taste test? And I was like, I mean, I think they all taste like piss.
We're talking like Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light.
We are talking Bud Light, Miller Light, Busch, Mick
Light.
Ultra, Natty, Coors Light,
Busch Light?
Beast. No, just Busch.
No.
So.
Wait, say it. What are they again?
Bud Light, Miller Light, Busch, Mick Ultra, Natty Light, Coors Light, Beast. By the end of this, and the first round,
did you rank them?
Yes.
Can I guess what
Blind.
number 1 was?
Wait, so we did 2 rounds. The first round, you try to guess what each beer was. I got 2 out of 7 right. I got Beast and Coors. I got Busch mixed up with Miller, Natty with Ultra, Miller Light with Bud Light, because I mean, that's the same thing. Mick Ultra with Busch, that's weird. And then Bud Light, I thought it was Bud Light, it was actually Natty Light. There was 4 of us there. The first place guy got 3 right. So I was second place, picking crappy beers. What do you think?
So
I
what
ranked?
was the second round? Just rank
That's
them?
when it was in different beers in the cups and everything, and then you rank them what beers you thought were 1 through 7, 1 best, 7 worst, and then Sarah said what each one was. So what do you think my number 1 was?
I'm going to say...
I never have enough water. We need to install a water thing right here.
I'm going to say you thought Beast was number 1.
No.
Busch?
No.
Oh, so
Do you want to know what
chose...
my number 7 was, which I thought was going to be my number 1? Coors Light.
That was number 7?
When I think
I
of
don't
Coors,
mind Coors Light.
That's what
because
I'm
it's
saying.
It's just water.
Yeah.
It's like refreshing.
And if it's
just,
like 32.5 degrees, it's like, okay, I can at least deal with this.
Yeah.
Number 6 was Miller Lite. I thought those would have been my top 2.
There was a period where I drank Miller Lite in
yeah.
college.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know why. Now I think it's terrible. Like,
Yeah.
I'd rather drink Bud Light.
Number 5 was Bud Light,
Okay.
which I've never liked because it always gives me headaches. If I have like 1, I get a headache. Number 4 was Mick Ultra. So now you see what my top 3 are. Beast was 3, Busch was 2, and Natty Light I ranked number 1 on a blind taste. And I'm like, taste. I don't know what I said. On a blind. Oh, I thought that was going to fly at the camera. It just flopped. No, freaking Natty Light was my number 1.
That's hilarious.
It's gross. Like, the only time I would have had Natty Light in college would have been frat parties, I guess. But even then, it seems like it was usually Keystone, which I didn't mind. That's just Coors Light. It literally is Coors Light. It's like, well, this can got dented or there like something was, it's a defect. It's defect Coors Light is what it is. But yeah, so I ranked freaking Natty Light number 1.
Have you ever had, it's almost impossible to find, Keystone Premium I think it's called.
Mm-mm.
So there's Keystone Light, which is blue. Keystone Ice, which is black.
There's yeah, that's right. Okay.
I think there's Keystone.
The Keystone.
And I think there's Keystone Premium. I think these are two different things. I think they're both red. It's possible that this is only one beer and I'm getting them confused, but I think there's a Keystone, which is red, and then a Keystone Premium, which is more like maroon, like a dark red.
I do kind of remember a red.
And if Keystone Premium is a thing, and if it's not, then I'm just talking regular Keystone, it's not bad.
I liked it back
the last time I had
in the day.
it anyway.
I mean, the last time I had it was college, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can even get it down here.
I don't know when the last time. Yeah, probably when I was in Connecticut was the last time I actually saw it somewhere.
It would have been funny if we would have put Labatt as one of these 8. I hope I would have ranked that number 1.
So we're going on our cruise in February.
Right.
The See Impractical Jokers cruise. We, Brittany, I think, posted on like a Facebook group for it or whatever. Because they were, one of the guys, he like brews his own beer, I think, and he's doing a taste testing thing on the cruise. So we signed up for that. He's also hosting Flip Cup tournament.
Oh God.
6-on-6.
Just make sure she takes video.
Brittany like posted on the group. She's like, me and my husband want to do this. It's only 2 of us. Are there a couple more couples that want to play? And a couple more. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Whatever. I'm so looking forward to this. It's been so, like, I don't even drink beer that much anymore, but it's been so long since I've just played Flip Cup or beer pong or just, like, gone back to, like, the college
days.
Like,
yeah. Well, it's probably been since you did that 1,000.
I've played since then. Oh, at some of, like, Brittany's work friends' parties, we've played some beer pong and some Flip Cup, but they're few and far between. Since I've moved here, which was 4.5 years ago, I bet I've played a combined 8 games, maybe, of like beer pong and Flip Cup.
Maybe 1.
Yeah.
And not in that time. Like, I've never played Flip Cup. I was always just beer pong.
Really?
Yeah.
I think at one of your pool, maybe
Probably.
like in Memorial Day when it's still kind of too cold to be swimming.
Like,
I
whatever.
think we need to make this happen and we need to get Poppy to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll drink the beer, but whatever.
Who cares? I don't care. Yeah. I just want him to drink. I'll give him his fruity
raspberry
vodka with Sprite, and he can just hold it and just do he can flip it with one hand and see what happens.
Oh gosh.
A couple more items here. I just want to give a note on this. A while ago, we did our What We Want from Next Gen podcast. I don't remember if that was a bonus or not. I think that was a regular podcast. I think it was before we did Patreon. But anyways, I was saying I was going to put on this list full mouse and keyboard support, but then I looked up and you can use mouse and keyboard. So I'm not going to put that on my list. It's back on the list because now I know.
You just made the list.
It did just make the list because you can't do it. So Noah wanted a mouse and keyboard because he wants to wreck fools in Overwatch.
More than he already does.
Yes. So I got him it. And then we plug it in and it's like you can move the menus and stuff, but you can't play. And I'm researching, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's keyboard compatible for like going like the Windows button takes you to the Xbox menu thing.
And you can like chat and stuff probably.
That's it. And I was like, I wish I would have researched this because then I could have talked him out of it. But then I found there is a way to do it. You have to get an adapter. And it's probably like illegal. Like if somebody reported you and they found out you were doing it, they'd be like, whatever. But it's not like Noah's like getting, 40-0 KD ratio or something.
You should just have Noah start streaming
On our
Overwatch
channel.
and stuff. Yeah, just set 2-player co-op on the Xbox. Let him just go on and stream and just.
That's actually, yeah. Is that child exploitation? I don't think so.
It's not exploitation. It's just child.
I pay him.
He gets an allowance.
He does actually. No, he doesn't. It's been a while. So what you got to do is you get this adapter that it plugs into the USB port on the Xbox or the PlayStation or the Switch. Apparently, I guess you plug one of your controllers into said adapter. Then you plug your mouse and your keyboard into said adapter, and basically it takes it's like the controller goes into the adapter. It feeds it through the mouse and keyboard. This thing goes and it makes it so basically the mouse is the right stick, and then it maps the buttons to the keyboard, and then it goes into the Xbox. So now I'm putting that back on the list, and I think that will be there. I would assume it would be there on both full mouse and keyboard support. I still say the same thing they need to do is they need to... it didn't work. Okay. But still, like if I'm playing Call of Duty, you can't be putting mouse and keyboard players into lobbies.
Okay, I was gonna say I think that's the exact reason why they have it the way it is right now. So I don't know that they've changed it unless they do matchmaking based on.
And they do that like on PC. You can set your settings. So like if you're playing on PC, you can either do DualShock, Xbox controller, mouse, keyboard, whatever. And you can set your settings in most games. Like I don't care who you match me up with, or keep it the same input type.
Right.
I don't think you can set your settings like I'm using mouse and keyboard. I only want to play against people with controllers because that's not really fair. But just an update on that. I was wrong. It took a pain. It was a big pain in the tuchus to get it working. Uncharted lost another director. It's 6 total, the movie, because of complications with the new Spider-Man movie. Just stop. Just stop.
I mean, it's not going to happen.
But I don't even want to hear about it anymore. I just want them to say Uncharted's canceled. I want to hear that so I don't have to hear about this anymore. Just period. Like at least Metal Gear, at least all they've got supposedly is a director. There's no script. There's no star. Well, there's a script. He turned it in. Well, I'm not going to hold my breath. There's no stars. There's no one like it's just a dream at this point. Uncharted, they've cast Drake. They've supposedly cast Wahlberg as Sully, which I absolutely hate. They've had 6 directors. It's like, just stop. Stop.
Yeah.
There's a Final Fantasy remake demo coming apparently. Did you see all this stuff?
I've seen some stuff about it.
It leaked on the internet that someone got access to it somehow, and they data mined a bunch of stuff from the demo that shows stuff, not like shows, but they were able to determine stuff for the full game from the demo that they data mined. And it's like extra bosses and cool. Everything sounds great. I didn't go too much into it because I don't want to know any spoilers, but it seems like it's about an hour long. You do the first bombing run. That's as far as I got when I played it. So that's kind of cool. Well, I got through that, and then I got on is the train after that?
Yeah.
I bet that's where, I bet it ends with the Cloud jumping onto the train.
Probably.
That'd be a good way to do it. But I'm looking forward. I would like to at least try it before it comes out, just so I can be like, what the heck is this new battle system?
I almost want to play it for like 5 minutes just to see the battle system. I want to see as little as possible, but I want some kind of assurance or something that,
like, does this new battle system work?
Like
yeah. So look forward to that. It's got to be coming soon. I mean, the game, oh my God, the game's out in 2 months.
Less than.
Wow. What?
Less than.
Oh, I thought I closed my eyes and I saw you go boom. I was like, what are you pointing at? One other thing I want to do. The homie James Solar is replaying Arkham Knight, and I said I cannot wait to get your thoughts on this. And he tweeted as such: I got a lot of conflicting feelings right now. The side quests in Knight are perfectly folded in the story. Each one feels significant and meaningful. It's something that Arkham Knight does better than any of the other Arkham games. However, I agree that they overdid the Batmobile sections. Thank you. But, capital letters, if the final fight with Arkham Knight was hand-to-hand, I don't think I would have any issues. The optional tank missions and other non-essential Batmobile stuff doesn't bother me. My ranking for this series in this playthrough: City, Knight, Origins, Asylum. My ranking is still City, Asylum, Origins, Knight. My thing is, I agree.
You like Asylum better than Oranges? Oranges.
Origins.
Arkham Oranges.
I do, but it's really, really close. It's really close.
Yeah.
I like the story better in Origins. In Oranges. That's going to be the new one. Batman Arkham Oranges.
Starring Guillermo.
Yeah, you didn't get like I've told you before, you just stalk your way to the Arkham Knight and you just get to the gargoyle he's on 3 times and then you beat him. And then you fight him in the subway and then you fight Deathstroke in a tank. It's just like, so I don't know. I was hoping he was going to come more to my side, but he didn't. There's still time left. He just started playing it today. I don't know how far he got in that he's like already forming these opinions.
Yeah.
Let us know, Solar. You have anything you want to talk about? That was a lot that I was talking about.
I mean, that was kind of a dialogue. No, I don't think so.
Sean,
yes.
What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing a lot of Octopath.
Okay.
this is this game in every way possible is like the antithesis or the antipode of Death Stranding. Like, I kind of touched on this before about how easy it is to just pick up, boom,
play,
you're in it,
yeah.
go, be done, whatever. Versus Death Stranding, like, I feel like it would take
process,
forever.
yeah.
Death Stranding, I don't really care too much about the gameplay. I want to know the story. This,
You couldn't care.
I keep just skipping all the cutscenes for the
Yeah.
stories. I'm like, let me just play. Like, I'm having fun playing the
Yeah.
game. There's too much story. I have not seen... I'm working my way through everyone's chapter 2s. I think there's a chapter 3. I can't imagine they go... I don't think there will be a chapter 4. I'm guessing there's like a 3 for everybody, and maybe that's it. Unless I've missed something in the cutscenes, I have not seen how there's like one central big bad in this game. Like, nobody's stories seem to be weaving together yet. Maybe they will. But it's just a lot of fun. I'm just having fun playing this game.
Yeah.
So you knocked it out of the park. It's not like I was thinking I wouldn't like it. It's just one of those, like, you just got to pull the trigger on it. And once I got it, Bruce, it was like, okay, well, good. Now I'm going to play this game and I'm going to enjoy it. And I think I probably like it even better than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Even the parts where I was doing Therion, I think his name is, the thief, his
Makes sense.
chapter 2, and I got to the boss and I just got smoked. I'm like, well, time to go grind. And I just started exploring and found some caves where I got some cool weapons and found some new towns where I was able to buy some new stuff and kept, winning battles and upgrading my skills and all these things. And like, it's just so much fun to do. I haven't gone back and beaten his yet, but I beat a few other chapter 2s. I think I could probably beat his now, but I'm enjoying the crap out of this game.
Sweet.
But that's all I've really been playing.
I thought you would like it. I was still worried, kind of like you were, about there's 8 characters in the house. It's all going to work together and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
The only thing I really played this week, I finally jumped into Concrete Genie. I probably only played 2 hours. It's cool. Like, I didn't even know what to expect when I got it. I knew it was just about like graffiti and painting and the stuff comes alive. And it's pretty much what it is. What it is, and it's got a really sad opening because this kid is just there. He's like in this town called Denska, I think it's called. And it's overrun by this darkness, like these vines that are just like sucking the life out of the city and everything. And he's getting bullied and he's starting there and he's got his notebook and he's drawing and these like 6 bullies come up and they get his notebook and they tear it up and they throw his pages everywhere. You collect the pages obviously throughout the game. But it's just really sad. I was like, oh, now I see why this was nominated for Games for Impact. I was like, I can see where this is going. But basically what you do is the painting, you can either do, I've actually been doing motion for it. Instead of, you can also use the right stick, I guess, but it told me to use motion. So that's just what I've been doing. But you go a little bit, you go up to this lighthouse and everything. And then you find one of your pages. And then I think what happens is one of your, that's where it gives you the tutorial about how to draw or paint on the wall. And one of your drawings comes to life and he's like, Luna, holy cow. And it's this big happy ghost. And then he kind of talks like, and he's like, I didn't think you talk like that. And you go from there. So basically the point of the game, I'm through the first 2 sections of it. What you do is you're trying to get rid of this darkness and everything. There's no combat in the game, but these bullies are always around. So you've got to avoid them because what you're trying to do is you'll see these light bulbs up on buildings. And if you paint the wall that they're on, the light bulbs come on. And if you bring all the lights on, you can drive the darkness away. And then you can progress to the next area of the city and on and on and on and on. But these bullies are always there. If they see you, if they see you, you can see them on the map when you get close. They've got like yellow arrows or white arrows. If you're in danger, then they turn to yellow. If you're in danger of being seen, then they start filling up with red. If they fill up with red, they're like, he's over here, get him. I've been caught a few times because I kept like pushing buttons. I was like, can I fight these guys? Can I just like punch them in the face or can I hit them with my giant paint brush or something? And no, you can't But if you run away, if you get away from them, they'll be like, oh man, we lost him, whatever. But if they catch you, the first time they caught me, they threw me in a dumpster. And you just respawn back out of it. They're somewhere else, and you just kind of start over from the last checkpoint or whatever. Another time they caught me, I guess there was no dumpster nearby. So then they're like, yeah, screw you, dude. We're going to make you go on a fetch quest or something like that. And they take your paintbrush, and they put it on top of this building, like in the city. And there's a marker on the map, but then you got to go around. You got to make sure they don't see you. Go back there, get your paintbrush so you can go back to painting and bring in your stuff to life and everything. I like it so far.
So is it like open world?
Open-ish. Open areas, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're locked into one area, and once you light up everything, then something happens that lets you open the door or burn down a wall with one of your monsters or something that lets you progress to the next area, and then you go from there. I've heard it's only like a 6 to 8 hour game. I'm probably 2 hours in and a quarter way done with it, so that makes sense. And now that I actually know what I'm doing, I can probably progress quicker. It's supposed to be a relatively easy platinum too, so this will probably be platinum number 33 for me. I'm gonna beat it, hopefully in this next week or so. But yeah, I really like it. It's a cool little game, and I'm glad I played it.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So let me get some water. ASMR. What is it?
ASMR.
Audio sensory
Machiavellian responses.
If you couldn't tell by the title, eventually we will get to our top 10 games of the year. Holy cow. There is a little bit of news this week, so we're just going to fly through these things. But there was a leak that Eurogamer corroborated that apparently the specs for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, I'm going to miss saying Xbone. I just realized that. They leaked, and it looks like the Series X actually is more powerful. And normally I would be like, whatever. But the fact that Eurogamer actually reported on this makes me kind of think, well, this seems like it's actually legit, because Eurogamer is legit.
Yeah.
But this actually comes from Tweakdown, because they just summarized it up really quickly for me. And that's a funny website name. And whenever I can include websites with funny names, I like to do that. New reports show a clear discrepancy between next-gen console power. The leaks, which are based on DevKit hardware, say the Series X sits at 12 teraflops, clocked at 1.7 gigahertz frequency with a whopping 56 Navi compute units from AMD's new RDNA 2.0 architecture. The PS5 conversely clocks in at 9.2 teraflops with only 36 compute units, the same as the PS4 Pro, at a 2 gigahertz clock speed. With these numbers, the Xbox Series X's GPU sports 33% more teraflop performance and 55% more compute units. That's a sizable lead that should come with an equally sizable price tag. So at first glance, reading that, I'm like, oh, I don't want to have the inferior console. And this could still not be true, but whatever. However, if you compare the 9.2 teraflops, the PS1 is running 1.84 teraflops and the PS4 Pro 4.19.
Did you say the PS1?
Probably. The PlayStation 4 is 1.84 teraflops, and the PS4 Pro is 4.19. So it's more than twice as powerful as the PS4 Pro. And over 4 times as powerful as the PS4. My PS4 still looks amazing. For the most part, it runs great. It can be a little bit loud sometimes. But like for me and you, going from a base PS4 to a PS5, it's going to be like, holy crap, all this power.
Right.
There's also, they speculate in this article also that they think that if these specs are right, that yes, the Series X is more powerful. They think they're also the Series S or whatever they'll call it will probably be less powerful, and that might come in at $400. But they think the Series X will be $500 or more. That it's going to be like the Xbox One X of next gen.
I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know how many they sell if they do this, but it almost seems like the Series S or whatever it's going to be should be like 400.
Right.
PS5 probably 500, and the X should be 600.
Yeah, I'm not hoping that I don't think it's going to be 400 like they were speculating. I don't see how this thing.
If the PS5 comes out and it's only 400, I probably would just get a day one, regardless of what games are. I'd be like, screw it, I'm in.
Yeah.
If it's 500, I'd be like, show me the games first. But
well,
I'm expecting
that's why
500.
I'm saving up now. Yeah, I'm expecting 500. I don't know. I mean, the PS4 Pro is still retail $400.
Is it really?
Usually you can find it like on Amazon. It just keeps popping up on Instagram. I'm like, I'm not buying one. I'm less than a year away from a 5. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's usually like around $329, $340 on Amazon. But still, you're talking about something that's more than twice as powerful. And I'm not going to get into the RAM and everything because I don't understand that as much. But essentially, twice as powerful for the same price. There's no way. It's going to be $500.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we're getting to this time. It's very exciting.
It sure is.
Oh, what's also exciting is that Vince Zampella is leaving Respawn to take over DICE LA. This comes from Engadget. Not really a funny name, but it's a good website. DICE, the Swedish studio known for the Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, and Star Wars Battlefront game series, will be getting some impressive talent to start its new LA-based office. Vince Zampella, the co-founder of renowned studio Respawn Entertainment, will be heading the new DICE LA studio. As reported in a profile of Zampella by the LA Times, the new studio will operate independently from DICE in Stockholm, and it will be working on an original and as yet unrevealed game. Well, of course, they haven't done anything yet. They also may be rebranded with its own name to emphasize its independence. This doesn't mean that Zampella will be leaving Respawn, so never mind what I just said. However, with both studios owned by EA, he will continue to work at Respawn and oversee DICE LA as well. Respawn is known for the Titanfall series, which has a new entry currently in development, as well as the free-to-play Apex Legends. It also develops Star Wars, Jedi Fallen Order, and is working on the latest installment in the Medal of Honor franchise, Above and Beyond. I didn't remember there was a Medal of Honor game coming out. What? What did I say?
Last week or maybe the week before?
It was probably last week.
No, it was probably. I think it was 2 weeks ago. Or maybe it was last. I don't know. Whenever we did our looking ahead to 2020, and we did like month by month.
Yeah.
I was looking at your iPad and it's like, there's a new Medal of Honor game coming out? And
Yeah,
you said something like, yeah, but
that
not
was
really.
the Patreon episode, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But you're like, you said something, yeah, but not really. Or something like that. You
I
just
think
kinda,
I thought, that's right. Now, I think I thought it was like a mobile game or like a free-to-play game or something like
Yeah.
that. And maybe it still is. I don't know. But this is what Ryan McCaffrey tweeted about this. Good. Give Vince control over more things at EA and stay the hell out of his way. His track record, Medal of Honor 1, Call of Duty 1, 2, Modern Warfare 2, Titanfall 1 and 2, Apex Legends, Jedi Fallen Order, suggests he should be overseeing as much non-sports stuff as possible at EA. That's a hell of a resume.
It is.
Any thoughts you want to add?
I don't know. I hope whatever this... Where is it? I hope this original and as yet unrevealed game is not just going to turn out to be a first-person shooter.
I don't think it will. I think that's why what I'm hoping is they're like, Fallen Order was awesome.
Or if it is, at least make it a single-player focused.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that's true. I mean, well, DICE and Respawn, they're both known for their first-person shooters, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want Fallen Order 2, and I want it to be really, really good. We're not going to do a wrap-up this week because it's a top 10 podcast. We're going to run through these wrap-up items really quick. The PS Plus games were announced for January, and they are the Nathan Drake Collection and Goat Simulator. I don't remember what Xbox had last week, but it wasn't very impressive either.
So what is Nathan Drake Collection or whatever? Nathan Drake Collection.
1, 2, and 3. That's what I let you borrow. That's how you played 2.
Okay.
And then you never played 3. So now you should just add it to your library.
Yeah.
And Goat Simulator is stupid fun. Oh, I never went back to Goose Game. I keep seeing it when I turn on my PS4 and I'm like, it wasn't as good as I thought. And I'm not going to get the platinum.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Also, GTA 5 is now on Xbox Game Pass console version. That's crazy. But again, like if you got an Xbox, why don't you have it already?
Right. Who
is Kadeem Garcia? All right, and now it is time for the main event, our top 10 games of 2019. I did have a couple things I just wanted to... I got a few honorable mentions. Did you have any most disappointing game this year?
I mean, I didn't come up... For me, it's probably Death Stranding. I'm just kidding. No, I didn't. I had trouble coming up with 10. I'm like, what did I bet as we're going through this, I'm going to be like, oh my God, I forgot such and such.
Oh, God,
but
I
I had
hope
trouble
not.
coming up with 10 games.
I hope not. My most disappointing, I only played the demo, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that. Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I didn't
wasn't-
have very high. I wasn't expecting
Right.
much out of it. But
I
it was
did just
pretty
because
terrible.
everybody was like, Crypt of the Necro Dancer is awesome. You got to play it. And then I played this, and I was like, nope, this is not fun,
Yeah.
and I'm just going to delete it.
Yeah.
I did want to give out a shout out to The Messenger. It came out on PS4 this year. We put it in our rankings last year. I just wanted to shout that out because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, these didn't make my list. Concrete Genie. If I played a little bit more, it might creep into that top 10, but as it sits now, it's an honorable mention. King of Cards. Oh, you never played that?
Mm-mm.
King of Cards is fun, but I never beat it, so I don't know how I could really put it in my top 10 if it didn't compel me to beat it. Blazing Chrome was fun. It was fun. It was fun. That's one of those, like, I'd rather just play through it with Sean. And I don't know if that has online multiplayer. Oh, we've only got one copy anyway. Never mind. And I really want to give a shout out to Kingdom Hearts 3. 5 hours in, I'm never going to go back and play that game. At this point, I'm going to stop telling you to buy it. You could just have mine. Because I'm literally, unless the boys played it for a little bit, but now Nick's loving Pokemon Sword. Noah's playing a little bit of Jedi. He's just all about Overwatch now. He barely even plays Fortnite anymore.
Yeah, I noticed.
Which is just weird. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Do you have any? Oh, well, you barely get.
The only thing I really have to say before we get into it is and I'm not being stupid, I didn't include Death Stranding. I could have just put it on there at like 10 just because, but then I'm like, I feel like I'm doing it more of a disservice by putting it at 10 than just leaving it off because I have not really.
It's TBD.
I have
basically.
formed an opinion, but it's not a. It's
But you're like 3-4 hours in. Yeah,
exactly. So I don't know enough about it yet to.
that's kind of what I figured.
So I just didn't even include it. Yeah, I did notice. It's possible I'm forgetting about games, or I'm like, oh, I didn't even think to count that, or whatever. Maybe there'll be some things, but I struggle to come up with 10 games. Now, I don't know if, first year as a dad, that maybe I really just didn't play many games this year.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't played King of Cards. I haven't played Blazing Chrome. Even though I was looking forward to that game, I pretty much totally forgot
You still
about
got a
that.
Steam code if you want to play it.
That's true. So, I don't know. I'll be interested to see if there's something that maybe just slipped my mind. But
Everything I have on my list, you know about.
yeah.
For sure. And one game that's on my list that's not on yours, so I'll be interested to see what's on yours that's not on mine.
Yeah. Well, there's some. My bottom 4 games. Here's what I'll say. My bottom 4 games, they're almost on there just by default.
Right.
Like they're not even. They're fine. My top 4 games, I could make I mean, honestly, almost the top 6 games, I could find a way to make an argument that maybe it could be my game of the year.
My top
Easily the
5,
top
I
4.
could. Yeah.
And maybe even 5 and 6. And then 7 through 10, it drops off.
Well, kick us off. What was your number 10?
My number 10, which shows you just how few games I played this year, Dr. Mario World.
It was also my number 10.
I enjoyed that game way more than I thought I would. I bet I probably played it more than some of these other games.
Oh, I wish it tracked my time.
Easily more than 2 of them. I feel like it just kind of gets maybe knocked down a peg or 2 just because it's mobile.
Yeah.
But I put many hours into this game. When I first played it, I'm like, you just got to line up the color. Like, this is boring. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay. Now, granted, I haven't played it in several months now. There's probably like several new worlds that I haven't even played yet. But this has been by far, in my opinion, Nintendo's best mobile game. Mario Kart was kind of fun, but I just lost interest. Mario Run, every so often, I'll pick it up and like play a level, but it's just whatever.
I never ended up buying that.
I hope 2020 we do get like a Zelda a mobile game. I'm curious to see what they do with it. It's obviously not going to be Zelda. I'm trying to think of a way they could turn that into like a mobile game.
Again, what I think they should do, they won't. I think they should copy the gameplay style of Severed. Maybe not first person, maybe behind Link.
Yeah.
But you've just got, maybe you've got a Moblin here and an Octorok here. And you
because
got like
they
face
have
and attack
confirmed that this is in development, right? Or is it not
I
confirmed?
think at some point they did.
I thought they did.
They said, at some point they definitely said they were working on a Zelda mobile game.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be curious to see. But yeah, number 10 is Dr. Mario World.
Yeah, it doesn't track your time. It was also, like I said, my number 10. I mean, flat out, I don't just think it's the best. You won't agree with this because you played a lot more mobile games than I did back in the day. Well, you might. I don't know. It's not just Nintendo's best mobile game. This is the best mobile game I've ever played. Or my favorite.
You like it better than like SimCity
Yeah.
and Jurassic Park?
Now, I loved those, but it get to the point where, so I got on this, I got to level 245, and it did kind of peter out because it just got to the end where it's like everything's frozen and there's fans, and if you blow something up next to a fan, it shoots a ice ball at something else and freezes that.
Yeah,
It's
see, I
just
haven't
like,
even played those levels yet.
and like they're set up so that like they kind of go like 3 deep diagonally like this, and there's nothing under them. And then it goes diagonally this way, so you got to like kind of build over to knock this out. But when you're building over, everything's like attached to a fan, and it's just like I cannot figure this out. I was about to go to the part where, let me see if I can pull it up just so you can see it.
I don't know what made me just think of this, but I have a fear, not fear, whatever. But like, I feel
I got
like
to 250.
I may have an idea of what they may do with a Zelda game,
Okay.
and I don't like it. I'll be very disappointed if it's this. I'm almost wondering if it's almost like a crossbow training kind of game, where it's like purely bow and arrow,
Like
rail.
remember Metal Gear
shooter,
Solid
like,
Arcade or whatever it was called? Metal Gear Solid Touch. Remember that? That looked like Metal Gear Solid 4 graphics.
Oh,
And it was just like a
I
third
forgot
person
about
shoot 'em
that.
up.
Yeah.
Look at this. See all those fans?
Oh, I definitely haven't seen those.
It's crazy. So whenever you blow something up that's next to those fans, it's going to freeze somebody else. And it's a full ice block, not like a half. So you got to break them twice just to get to the virus. I probably tried this level 50 times and couldn't. And I just said,
that looks terrible.
I said, no, you know what? I had a lot of fun with it. I'm done. My number 10 game of the year, Dr. Mario World. Sean, what's your number 9?
My number 9. Do I want to say this is 9? I'm looking at 8 and 9 now. I'm wondering if I flip them.
I'm almost thinking about flipping my 4 and 5 now when I'm looking at them.
Whatever. I'll just go with what I've got. Number 9, I've got. No, I'm gonna flip it. Number 9, a game I don't even own. A game I played for about 10 minutes. Ring Fit.
Oh, never mind. I didn't even think about because I've got
Because that's more out of potential than anything.
Yeah,
because that was a lot of fun. Brittany's even talking about maybe wanting to get it.
It's such
She's
a good
talking
idea.
about it more from like the quote unquote like
the
exercise.
fitness.
Yeah, the fitness aspect.
You're like,
of
no,
it.
this is just.
I'm
fun.
more just. I think it's a fun game.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Now, granted, after about 20 minutes, I'm like, nope,
No,
I'm done. I'm
all right.
tapping out. Whatever.
I need to
even
add
just
that
seeing-
to my. I need to add that to my honorable mention posthumously. Not posthumously. It's not dead.
Seeing some of the actual mini games,
Yeah.
not just the,
Right.
like those looked fun. And even I did try the parachute one, but
Yeah.
like that looks fun to me.
Yeah.
So the little bit I played, I had fun. I think there's a lot of potential. We may get it just because, Ring Fit number 9.
I like that. I own it and I forgot about it. It wouldn't be in my top 10, but it would make my honorable mentions because it does. The potential is there. I'm gonna get in shape this year. I'm drinking less. Shout out to water. You wouldn't know that if you watched last week, but that was still last year.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
no, I
What
guess
day
it
is it?
was.
Yeah, it was last year.
It
was a week.
decade.
Whoa! Hindsight cannot be 2020 now. Hindsight is now 2019. Is that what your tweet was?
I said next year, hindsight will truly be 2020.
Oh, okay. All I know is I was like, he finally tweeted it like, I'm going to bed. I was so tired that night.
All right. I wonder if I know what your number 9 is then.
You probably
With that preemptive high
You
five.
probably do. Although I think you played it more than 10 minutes. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Nope. Okay, we're gonna have the same number 8. That's my prediction. I had a lot of fun with it. I know Sean didn't really take to it as much as I did. I really liked it. I loved the campaign. I think they did a good job making it grounded, making it feel weighty and like what you were doing mattered, and it was just a great story. Absolutely. Again, I'm just running on a regular PS4. Freaking breathtakingly beautiful that game is. Like, it is just jaw-droppingly great. Like, I can't imagine playing that on a PC with max settings, like what it would look like. Absolutely beautiful. The controls in Call of Duty games are always great. I love like I said, I love the story. The little bit I played of the multiplayer, I ranked up to like 7, whatever. That was a bad stream. Because these maps, and what a lot of people have complained about with the multiplayer is a lot of these maps are very campy. And I'm like, oh yeah, they are. It's the only way I could play multiplayer Call of Duty. But I just liked it. It's probably the most, it's definitely the most I've liked a Call of Duty game since Black Ops 1. I think Black Ops 1 is still definitely my favorite campaign. But I think I liked it. Well, which came out first? Yeah, Black Ops 1 came out after Modern Warfare 2. That went 2009, 2010. I think. And just twoplayercoop.com/you're wrong. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it. It's just like a solid like 8, you know. It's a solid, fun Call of Duty game. Yeah, I spent $60 for a 6-hour game. You know, if I ever get it back from you, maybe I'll try multiplayer again. I don't know. I would like to try. That was the one thing that I didn't try is the what's it called? The Spec Ops mode, I think is what it's called. Where it's like 4 people go together and it's not PvE. Or no, yeah, it's PvE, not PvP. So you're 4 guys on a team. You've got an objective. You got to you drop into this place and you got to talk to your teammates and you're like, okay, do we want to go stealthily and use silencers and try to get in here without anybody seeing? Grab the package, get back to the Jeep, take it to the plane, take off, blah blah blah. Or do you want to say, well, the hell with it? We're just going to blow everybody up.
Now, see, that actually sounds fun to me.
Yes.
And what it kind of sounds like is old school. I'm talking like 98, 99.
96.
Rainbow Six.
It's not that tactical because it very quickly just turns into Call of Duty.
Right.
But at least you're shooting CPU controlled bad guys.
Now, can we do that? Can we do that local, or would we both have to have it and do it?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll check that while you.
Because that could make for a good.
That would be a freaking
if we can
fun as hell. Let's play.
Now, granted, we'd be doing split screen on a TV that's like that big, so that may be a little tough.
But yeah, number 9 for me, Modern Warfare.
All right. Number 8 for me is the one I flipped.
Split.
Again, it's kind of up there with Ring Fit, except I actually do own it. I've not played it much, but I'm doing it more just on, well, whatever. Number 8 for me is Goose Game.
Oh, no. We do not have the same one.
I just think the game is beautiful for as stupid and silly and basic as it is. I mean, it's unique. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. It's one of those games that when I'm sitting at home playing it by myself, and I think that's the trick. When I'm playing it by myself at home, it's fine, but I feel weird just playing it by myself. It's not as stupid and fun when I'm by myself. It's almost like a game. I would almost rather watch somebody play it than play it by myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's why I love this game to begin with. Was I didn't really watch it. I just heard what the game was, and I saw little clips here and there. I was like, "This looks so stupid fun. I love it."
Like it does.
But
get
watching
a little
Adam
repetitive.
at the
exactly, yeah, like
at Extra Life,
it gets a little repetitive. But I feel like I could watch somebody play it for way longer than I would actually care to sit and play it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's like this whole like sandbox thing. Like almost anything you see out there, you can interact with. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I had it as number 9, but I switched it with Ring Fit. So Goose is number what? Number 8.
Update. It looks like you can do split screen Spec Ops. So we might need to try to do that. That would be a fun let's
Stay
play.
tuned.
supposedly it works. We might try to do it, and we're like, well, crap. The only thing is, it seems like you need to be on the internet, which for us up here is kind of spotty.
Yeah, there's that whole thing.
You two can be two of the people that join, but then I think you still have to have two other people join.
Yeah, you probably need a full.
So I don't know. But you can do split screen. At least it looks like you can.
Okay.
So that would be a fun Let's Play. We might need to try to make that happen.
Captain.
Goose Game. Number 8 for me, this might be one that you forgot about.
I don't think so. Because I'd be shocked if... Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you don't own it.
Well, I own the rest of mine. Besides the next one, but it's definitely not this.
Super Mario U Deluxe. That was January. That was this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that definitely would have made my list.
I'm going to just bump everything down and put it wherever.
Dr. Mario World, you're out.
All right. Number 10. Super Mario U Deluxe. It's obviously, and we were kind of like, should we include this? Well, I guess Sean wasn't. I was. Should I include this?
I would have included it had I thought of it, but I did not think that was 2019.
I thought I should have texted you about that too. Because I should have just looked here and been like, oh, Sean doesn't own this. I should remind him. But it's fine. I mean, what are you going to riot? Is that recording? Yeah, it's recording. It's just like, I know it's a re-release, but 2D, it's up the thing. It's right up here.
I'm just looking for a red light. Is there
it's covered by the strap
thing.
thing.
All of a sudden I'm like, wait, are we recording?
No, we're recording.
Okay.
2D Mario is best Mario is what I wrote down here. Like, it's so much fun. And I know some people don't like the new Mario series, but I actually really do. Like, just playing with you, it's so fun. Like, just imagine if growing up, if Mario 3 or World was two of us on the screen at the same time. The hardware probably couldn't even, like, there's two inputs at the same time and Mario's flying this way. And like, what do we do? But it's just so much fun. It's 2D Mario. I like the new Super Mario series. I like the multiplayer stuff. I like when we start screwing with each other and you just like throwing me off a cliff and it's just driving me nuts. I like it. It's so much fun. And of course they had to do this because there's no Wii U gamepad, but I like that they did get rid of the touchscreen stuff. I'm glad they didn't try to like implement that in some other way where it's like, oh, and here's a block. You're going to fall off the cliff. Boom, there's a block. Now you can land on that so you don't die. Like that's why I didn't really like this game when I had it for the Wii U. That it was just annoying. Yeah. Like, or you would just have like I can remember playing it with like at that time it was probably me and Noah with Nick having the gamepad and he's just like doom 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 doom,
yeah,
and there's just blocks everywhere. And I'm like, no, this isn't fun. This isn't like throwing people off a cliff and laughing about it. This is just annoying. There's blocks everywhere now. But I'm a sucker for 2D Mario. I hope we get Super Mario 4 at some point. I really do. Or new Super Mario. What would it be now? 3. I don't know. I love 2D Mario and I had a lot of fun with it. It's like Mario Odyssey. My favorite part of Mario Odyssey was the 2D sections, was the 8-bit sections. They were so much fun. Mario to me is just so much better in a 2D plane. I love Super Mario U Deluxe.
Yeah, if I had thought about it, it definitely would have made my list. It probably would have been here, which is going to be number 7.
Okay.
And then my existing 7, 8, 9 would go to 8, 9, 10. But for what it's worth, my number 7, actually, I'm kind of shocked I had this higher than you, but I think this is about it's just a weak, to me, it's a weak year. It's very top heavy. I'll say that.
Yes.
Call of Duty.
Okay.
As bad as we sucked, I had so much fun doing the
gunfight.
Let's Play. Yeah. It's another thing where I think because I suck, this is way more fun with not just playing online, but playing, with you or at least somebody that I know. Like, yeah, I can go online and play with other people and just get smoked, and that's no fun.
Right.
But at least with you, I'm like, well, whatever. I don't care because I'm not the only one who sucks.
No.
I'm probably the worst one, but I'm not the only bad one.
Can you imagine getting matched up against the two of us? It's like Jim Halpert jumping against a wall.
But like, I can really appreciate this game. I I hate, because it's the same thing that Death Stranding had. The text is so freaking small. Maybe I just need a new TV, but like,
you just need a 70-inch.
Yeah. But I enjoyed. I mean, I don't know how far. What did I make it, like a third of the way through? You think?
I think so, something like that.
So I had a ways to go. The townhouse level was
so cool,
unbelievable.
And there's the thing I forgot to say too: the variety of the missions here. And I know they've done that in other Call of Duties, but yeah, I don't remember doing anything like the townhouse mission. You didn't get. There's a flashback mission. I'll say that. I won't spoil anything about it. That is just phenomenal and like gut wrenching and terrifying, and it's so well done. I like how they varied up the different missions in this.
Yeah. I don't know. It's more out of an appreciation than it is me actually liking it, if that makes sense. Like you said, it is beautiful. They at least put in the time to give a good, solid single-player campaign, which I'm very appreciative of, even though I never really finished it. It's fine. And I think I had totally forgotten about the Spec Ops mode, but I think that would be legitimately fun.
Yeah.
Again, because it's PvE.
Yeah.
So I think we could hold our own.
Now, if we're playing with two other people who are really good, we may not get to have much fun,
but we could
at least we're not dying constantly,
right.
So I think that'd be a lot of fun. Number 7 on my list as it stands, Call of Duty.
Okay. My number 7, I kind of wanted this to be higher. And I almost thought about switching 6 and 7, but I'm going to go with what I've got.
So why was 6 afraid of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
Bingo.
Number 7 for me, I know it didn't come out first this year, and I'm surprised it wasn't higher. But again, this was a top-heavy year, and maybe it's because it was a re-release. But again, this is our list. Nobody's going to nominate this for Switch Game of the Year or anything, but it's our list. We don't care. Cuphead on Switch.
Okay.
Absolutely beautiful. I feel like that's one of my favorite sayings on this podcast. But it was absolutely beautiful. That art style is just perfect. It feels like a Switch game. It feels like a Nintendo game.
Yeah.
It's run and gun. It reminds me in a weird way of, the run and gun levels, I should say. In a weird way, they remind me of Contra. Some of the bosses and stuff, and some of the power-ups remind me of Gunstar Heroes. I like that they did... Because originally, one of the reasons this game was delayed on Xbox like a year or something was because all the playtesters were saying these bosses are fun, but like, where's the regular levels? And I like that they put those in because it breaks up the gameplay. If you're just doing boss after boss after boss and you're like, oh my God, and you're just getting your butt kicked, it's going to get annoying.
Right.
So I like the run and gun levels. There were some bosses in this that I never thought I was going to be able to beat. I know we got through them.
There was never one that I'm like, I can't beat this. Now, when you go back and try to play them on like expert or whatever, there's some that I don't think I would ever beat. But
Dr. Khan's robot or whatever.
Well, yeah, but there were some that were like super difficult, but I'm like, I know I can beat this. I
I'm
just got to get in the
up.
zone and get between all the projectile, like I think it was obviously very difficult, but it's not like it's Bloodborne. I was gonna say Bloodstained. It's not like it's Bloodborne hard.
Right.
Like there are parts of that game like I can't do this.
Right.
And there's no grinding to be done. So it's
No,
obvious in this game. It's like you have all the
We've given
tools
you the
necessary
tools.
to beat
Exactly.
it. Bloodstained is like, I don't know, go do something else, come back when you're stronger.
Right.
I said it again. Bloodborne.
Oh yeah, you did.
This, it's like the dragon,
The
robot,
and the robot. The final
those are
boss
the main
wasn't
two.
as bad. Once you learn, I mean, it was difficult.
Yeah.
But if you get a good, if the sequence he goes through at the beginning isn't that tough, if you get a good mix that you're good at and you can get to that second phase, once you get to the second phase and you know how the attack, when they explode and stuff like that, it's not that bad.
Right.
For me, it was the dragon and it was the stupid robot.
Yeah.
But like you said, when you get in the zone, the only thing I can really compare it to is beating freaking, and this was a better feeling because it was the toughest thing I've ever done in a game. But beating Sigrun in God of War, the final Valkyrie, like when I finally beat her after 3.5 hours of trying, I say it all the time, but it's like my controller, my thumbs were not part of my consciousness anymore. They were just going, and my fingers on the triggers and stuff. I was just going, and it was just like.
Yeah,
and that's how it is when you get in the zone. Like that's the only way I beat that robot because I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what. Oh, it was Super Hot.
Super.
Where that game you just feel like I know it's all in slow, but it makes you feel like you're in it and you're just.
It's like you're in the Matrix when you figure it out,
and it's just like you just like holy crap, this is awesome, and that's how this game sometimes feels more like in the airplane level. I'm thinking really the robot level where you've got all these projectiles and somehow you're just like, and you're just navigating all of them and you're not getting hit and you're like, how am I doing? Like this just makes me feel like I'm so good at it. But you need to get into that zone,
and you can't even think about it because if you think about it, because that was happening.
How am I doing this? And then you're dead.
When we were doing the Let's Plays and stuff, I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to do it. It's like if your mind leaves the screen for even like a split second, you're toast.
Yeah.
Not against every boss, but those harder bosses, you're just toast. But yeah, the feeling you get when you're in the zone and then when you beat the difficult bosses in this, it's the best feeling I've had in a video game since beating Sigrun in God of War. I can see in the little bit of Bloodborne that we played this year, I get why people like those games.
Yes.
I'm just not good at video games anymore. Now, I think Bloodborne, if I would have stuck with it, I would brute force my way through it, and you would just have to be like, damn it, okay, I go back there, get my blood echoes back. I know how this boss attacks now, whatever. Even if I got to look up tips and stuff, whatever. I feel like I could make my way through it, and that's why I so badly want Bloodborne 2. Because I want to just be like, no, now this brand new game.
Yeah,
I'm going in with everybody else. We're gonna do this. I hope we get Bloodborne 2 at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number 7. I thought it might be a little bit higher, but I loved my time with it. I love that I beat it by myself. I love that we beat it on the Let's Play series. It was some of the most fun I had this year playing video games. Number 7 for me, Cuphead on Switch.
So my number 6, this is when, now I'm getting into the heavy hitters. 6 and 5, I would have thought going in could have had opportunities to be game of the year. In the end, I don't think I could justify it, but I think like 1 through 4, I probably could. Number 6, I've got Jedi Fallen Order.
Number 6 for me, Jedi Fallen Order.
It was a very fun game. I don't think, to me, the combat is somewhere in between like button mashing and like a Bloodborne. Spoiler alert, Bloodstained may be in front of my face on here somewhere, and that's why I keep saying it.
Me too.
Where it's like they're trying to be Bloodborne, and it is, but there's not enough. I don't know. It's a little too button mashy without just being. It's like it doesn't really know what it wants to be. Like you don't have to play the game like it's Bloodborne.
Yeah.
To succeed.
I think it thinks its farts don't stink when it comes to combat. I think it thinks it's more like in depth, like it thinks it's Bloodborne or Souls or something or Sekiro. It's just not. Like there's definitely skill to it. But it just seems like sometimes no matter how good your skill is, the enemies are just like, oh, you didn't parry in time.
Right, and I think that's the thing. Like when I play Bloodborne, other than like some of the boss fights, even the really tough enemies, it's like I can come across any enemy and probably beat them if I pay attention and really try. I could probably beat them without getting hit. This game, once you're past just like stormtroopers, if you get any of the guys like with the purple,
anything where purple light shows up,
right? Yeah. It's like I have no chance of beating this guy, even on easy. I am not going to be able to beat this guy without getting hit. It's like you just have to get hit, no matter how hard. and it feels like it shouldn't be that way.
Well, and not only that, but there's so many times where they're just like, and on top of this difficult enemy, here's 5 stormtroopers shooting at you from every direction.
Right.
So it's just like you've got these stupid easy enemies, and not to mention like some of the wildlife that when I got to that first goat thing, whatever it was, when I texted you, I don't know if you remember this. It's like when you're on I think it was like the second planet, but you're like going through a cave or something, and then there's these 3 goat things, and they're the ones that ram you, and they take away like half your life. And it's like one of them will hit you, and then the other one comes over, and then they turn red when you're thinking they're not going to turn red, so you can't parry it, and you're just like, I died like 5 times, and I was like, I don't care about my XP. I don't think I lost like a skill point. I was like, I'm just going to run right by these guys because there's that hole in the wall over there, and I'm going to sneak through it. And I'm just saying the hell with this. I'm not trying to kill these things anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like some of the bosses were extremely difficult, but everything else other than outside of the Purge Troopers, it was like they would just cheapen. It almost reminded me of like an 8-bit or a 16-bit game where it's like they would artificially inflate the difficulty because they think their farts don't stink. Like we're just going to throw all these enemies at you. And I think what I wrote for this game is I think it's a jack of all trades and a master of none. It's got decent combat. It's a decent Uncharted wannabe. And what was the other thing that we always compare it to? And it's a decent Metroidvania, but it doesn't do any of them great.
No,
like I look at this as Watch Dogs 1, and this is what I wrote into Colin's podcast a few weeks ago, and he agreed. Watch Dogs 1, Uncharted 1, Assassin's Creed 1. Proof of concept, there's something under all this, like there's something really good here. There's something really, really good here. And it's sold, it's already the 9th. It was out for 2 weeks in November, and it was already the 9th best-selling game of the year. Like, it's selling well. That's what I wanted.
It did well
gonna
enough.
Get a sequel.
We'll get a Jedi Fallen Order 2, and I think it will be much more polished. I think it's going to blow this one out of the water.
Yeah.
This game was very buggy.
Yes.
Way more than a AAA title like it should be. The sliding stuff, way overdone. It's like the bat tank. Like,
it's in every freaking... I was like, maybe it's just going to be on the ice planet because you're sliding down ice.
Right.
Nope, you can slide down mud, you can slide down ice, you can slide down... There was
the ship, like in the
ship.
beginning.
Oh
like,
my God, that's right. Yeah, like this game clearly needed another 3 months or something. But EA said, nope, put it out now and just patch it. And I don't know how much they've patched it, but I'm not going to go back and play this game anytime soon. Maybe before Fallen Order 2 comes out, maybe I would. But, like, I hate that. Like, I'm glad it sold well. I absolutely love the story. By the way, Xbox commercials, I don't know if it's Xbox's fault or EA or who, but stop spoiling this freaking game. It's in every commercial now. It's how it ends. And I'm like... This game came out like the first time they showed it was Thanksgiving. The game had been out for not even 2 weeks. I'm like, are you kidding me? What?
You sound like Kevin on The Office. Are you kidding me? That's the other thing. It's got a very Star Wars-like immersive story. And the ending is awesome. However, not the ending, the pre-ending.
Right.
It's also like, it's kind of up there with my fears of like Black Widow. Like, why should we care? We know how we got there, so there's no like origin kind of thing. We know what happens after. We know who's alive and who's dead. Why does it matter what happens here? Now, the flip to that, I will say, even though it's...
Well, and we
like
know Cal
Rogue One
isn't in any movies, so this dude's going to die at some point.
Right. So, yeah, why do we care about this? And in the end, really, the story is like, really, why should we? The way it ends, like... just. I think it's kind of cool what they did. Like, I get it, but it's also like...
But I was also
what was
like...
the point of all
I was like, are
you
kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah.
But what were you going to say about Rogue One? Sorry.
I was just going to say that kind of falls in the same boat where it's between 3 and 4, but it has nothing to do with 3. It's basically just a prequel to 4. How did they get... Like, 4 is just like, yeah, they got the Death Star plans. What? How? Like,
why is there a hole in the Death Star? Yeah.
This is like this. Did we need to? It kind of just comes down to who cares. Also, Cal Kestis, he's just kind of a goober. Like I never ever felt like attached to him. I'm just like, even if he died, I'd be like, man. Okay, who is this guy? I don't care. Who is Karim Garcia?
I like BD1 much better, but I think the best performance in this was Siri. I forget how you say her name.
Yeah,
the woman on the ship, like the former Jedi, and you get into her story and everything. That was awesome. I think she was great. But yeah, Cal was just kind of blah. He's
very blah.
He got a little bit better as it went on, and when you get when you go into the ice planet and you go to the place and you
do the thing.
You do the thing, and then it's like, and then
the other stuff.
It's cool. Yeah, I just think that's what knocked. I wanted to love this game. I wanted this to be my game of the year. I'm going to say that a couple more times.
Yeah,
like I really thought this could, and where people are getting like, where it's been winning some game of the year awards from some people, like on some websites and stuff. I'm like, what else did you play this year? Like.
Yeah.
And it's not just because we played it on PS4. It was just as broken on Xbone and Xbone X, like it was, and PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
So it's not just because we played it on a base PS4. They just didn't finish this game.
Yeah. What else was I going to say? I don't know. I think there was something else, but
I feel like I'm ragging on it. It's still like an 8 to an 8.5.
It's still a good game. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. Probably nothing good. Oh, I know. Kind of the most telling thing about my true feelings about this game, and we talked about it when we did our kind of review of it. The fact that when I was probably about 80 or so % of the way through this game, I just made a beeline. I'm just like, I just want to finish this. And not because I'm sick of playing it, but I was kind of getting sick of playing it, and I just wanted to see what's going to happen with the story. When I've played a really good game and I get close to the end, I don't want to beat it. I want it to just keep going. Like that happened with Metal Gear Solid 5. It happened with Breath of the Wild. It's probably happened with other games. This game, once I got about 75, 80%, I was just like, okay, come on, let's get to the end and just be done with it.
Well, and I think it's part of the way. For the other thing I hated in this game, again, it sounds like I'm ragging on it. The map was one of the worst maps I've ever seen in video games. But I think one of the things that hurt this game is like I went into it. Like I remember looking at the trophy list. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to platinum this. It's a collectathon. Open all these chests. Do this thing. Blah blah blah. But then when you actually play the game and you see the chests are just like ponchos, and I'm like,
well, that's the other thing.
Like colors for your ship. I'm like, you're not making me want to explore this
I never
world.
once put a poncho on. I think they all look stupid.
I did it just to see what it looks like. I was like, oh.
I never put... I put it on. I never left the pause screen or whatever. I don't care about all these... Other than the color of your lightsaber, I don't care about, what kind of emitter...
You can't see it.
Yeah, like, unless you're playing this on, like, PS4 Pro on, like, 100-inch 4K television, you're not going to notice all these little... Like, who cares? Like, nothing... There's not a single chest you open other than where you get life and force meter type stuff.
Yeah.
None of the chests are worth getting.
No.
None of it.
Because they're all cosmetic and they don't help you at all. And
so,
then every time he's
all...
like, the other thing that annoyed me going back to Cal, it's like, hey, BD, what do you got in there? Oh, you found something else. I'm like, how many freaking chests has he opened? And he goes in at the same time. He goes in at the same way every time. Why are you surprised that he's jumping in this chest and going, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like this is... I care so much about Star Wars. I feel like this is like going back to our Rise of Skywalker spoiler cast. It was like, I bag on these properties because I want them to be... Or not these properties. It's the same property. But I bag on these things because I want them to be so freaking good. And both of them fell short. I was way more hyped for this than I was. So it's probably... It's my own fault for getting so hyped for this. But... I just expect so much, and it's like our first real single-player Star Wars game in forever. Again, we're going to get more. I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope I didn't just push the button. I don't think I did. We're still recording, so I'm not going to worry about it. That just freaked me out. I thought I pushed the record button again, and I didn't know what that would do. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted it to be a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. So yeah. We both agree number 6. Sean, number 5.
Number 5, I don't want to say it's a disappointment, but ultimately I would have thought,
oh my gosh.
this could have been Game of the Year.
You got it this low?
Number 5, I got Link's Awakening.
Wow.
Wow. And
Okay.
I loved this game. So that tells you the rest of my list. Like from here on out, I mean, these are... You're
I
freaking
know
me out
why.
over there.
There's one game that I don't... There's only one game that's up there that I don't know what it is. Huh. Wow. Okay.
So this game, in all honesty, I think I did have my hopes a little too high because...
Me too.
I've played the original, and the original is a good game, but it's very much a Game Boy game.
Yeah.
And I think what we said when we did our review of this, this still just feels like it's basically an HD remake of a Game Boy game. Mm-hmm. They did not do almost anything new, which I would have liked to have seen. I don't know what that was.
It's the boys going, me, me.
That's exactly what I thought it was. The game is beautiful. I mean, like, this might as well be in the game. Like, they just look like little action figure, like little dolls. It's just so cool, the art style. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I ended up loving it. I think some of the... I can see why Link's Awakening, it feels like a Zelda game. It doesn't stray too far from just the proven, tried and true formula of a Zelda game. However, it's different enough to where I can see why some people do think Link's Awakening, it's their favorite Zelda game.
Yeah.
I get it. But to me, on Switch, I would have liked to have seen them do a little more than what was done on a... I don't know.
28. I think it was 91. Yeah.
Oh,
or crap. No, it was 90.
93 maybe? 92, 93?
93. Because we just missed the 25th anniversary. That's when I thought it was coming out.
So
yeah.
a
93, yeah.
26-year-old game, they basically just made it look a lot nicer. I mean, they made it look beautiful, don't get me wrong. It still just felt like I was playing a Game Boy game on the Switch. I think they could have done a lot more with it, especially when you figure this game and Breath of the Wild are in the same system. They cost the same amount.
Wild.
Like,
yeah, I do think this shouldn't have been a $60 game.
And maybe that's part of it.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun with it. I'm sure I'm not done with it. I'll probably go back and play through it again at some point. To me, there were no like memorable levels. They all just kind of blend together. The one that really stands out is one where you have to break the pillars. The ones that stick out the most to me are the ones where you break the pillar.
Yep.
It may even be this. Actually, I think it's the same level now.
I think it's
about
all that whole
the one where the blocks go
it's
up
the
and
same
down.
level.
So it's really that level is what sticks out to me,
Yeah.
and I hate.
I hate it. I was going to say it sticks out for the
It's
wrong reason. I don't
exactly.
remember it for being a great freaking dungeon. It just, yes, it was so frustrating. Like, I'll talk about it when I get there. But
Yeah. It was good. I would have thought going into it, again, I got it way overhyped in my head. Going into it, I thought this could very well be my game of the year. It's still like 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10. It's very, very good. A great game. But I couldn't put it ahead of any of these last 4 that I've got.
Okay. My number 5, and I struggled with 4 and 5. But again, like I said earlier, I'm going to keep it how I had it. Number 5 for me, Super Mario Maker 2. My most played game on Switch this year, mostly because we did our Let's Plays on my Switch. The game is just pure, unending fun. I like it better than the first Mario Maker. I'm encouraged, and I still got to try to make a Zelda level. Now that I found my stylus, that'll be easier. Randomly in the laundry room. That gives me hope that they're gonna keep supporting, because obviously the Switch is gonna be here for the next 4 or 5 years. So hopefully they're going to keep supporting this thing. And they're going to keep being like, and I don't mean you got to put like Samus in there or something, but like just different, just something. Like they've done a good job supporting it so far. I had so much fun building levels. I was kind of worried about doing it on the Switch. I don't know why, because it's the same thing as if you had the Wii U gamepad and you're looking at the screen. It's almost easier on the Switch. But I was concerned about it. You have to do it in touchscreen. If you're trying to just do it's messed up. But like I never thought I could make a speedrun level, and I ended up making 3, 4, maybe. I don't even know what it was. And it's so much fun. And like I did the remix of Mario 3 World 1-1, and that was fun too. And I've got ideas. Like I think I want to remix. There's really not a 1-1 in Mario World because you can go one of two ways. But I kind of want to just pick one and just say I'm going to remix that. So I may do that. Oh, this hard drive keeps making noise and it's making me nervous. But yeah, I mean, this could have also been. If somebody said, like, if you say this is your game of the year, I'd be like, I get it. I completely get it. I think the reason I had it at number 5 is that I still value single player awesome experiences over. And the other thing I didn't even mention, it actually comes with 100 built-in Nintendo levels. And they weren't. A lot of them were pretty easy. The one that I remember that was not easy was the one where you're sliding down and it's got the purple lava and it's an auto scroll down.
That one.
And there's the saws where you got to like go here and slide and here and slide. It was tough, but when I beat that, it wasn't like beating a Cuphead boss, but it's still just like yeah. And I love that they gave us 100 levels. I love that I can play the levels that you play that drive me nuts and make me just want to just quit life. Like it's so much fun.
Make you accidentally fart.
Yes. Go back. We need a clip. We still need to clip it out. And I love just every once in a while I'll just go to like the creator page and just be like, all right, new levels, speed run. And I've had so much fun at these levels where it's just like they tell you in the description, just don't let go of right and just go. And they do the same thing that you did, follow the coins. And if you follow the coins, you're going to do it perfectly, but it's still learning. You get to a point where even if you're following the coins, all of a sudden everything like explodes and you're like, and you just choke and die. I love it so much. I don't see myself stopping playing it anytime. I do want to do more creating, and I hope I do pretty soon. But yeah, Mario Maker, my number 5 for the year.
I like it. My number 4, I won't spend too much time on. Kufid, I think is how you pronounce it. Sorry, Cuphead. Cuphead.
Oh yeah, you didn't do Cuphead yet. That was the one I wasn't thinking of. Okay, so now I know what your top.
Yeah,
okay.
The last 3 are obvious. Cuphead number 4.
Kufid. I was like, what the hell is he saying? I was like, I'm sitting here like, is that an acronym? What am I missing?
So I won't spend too much time on it because we already talked about it. I keep saying this. This game is beautiful. Like it's somehow true to the art style of what does look like 1950s, whatever, like animation, maybe or earlier than that. I don't know. But
it's like 1930s
or something.
Yeah.
Yet somehow looks so perfect and like fluid and just smooth and everything while still being true to what they're going for. I don't know. It's weird how they do it.
Yeah.
The controls are perfect. Like everything, everything just works. I know when I first saw this on the Xbox, I'm like, this looks cool, but it almost in a way made me think of like Contra Hardcore, where there's just like, it just seems like there's so much going on, and I'm like, what am I fighting, and what's the background, and what are they? But once you actually just play this game, it all just works perfectly. It's absolutely perfect. I think from here on out, I would say these are all 10 out of 10s. Maybe not perfect games, but 10 out of 10s. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we get DLC.
Supposedly, we thought we were getting it last year, so now it's all they've said is 2020. So it is coming at some point this year, in theory. I'm glad they're getting it right. That's awesome. I don't care what it costs. If it's as much as the full game, I'll pay. The game was $20. Like I'll happily pay another.
God, yeah.
They should have charged more for this game than they did.
Yeah.
So if it's $20, I don't care. I'm guessing it'll be 10,
Probably
maybe
10.
15. But it's completely worth it. It's a whole new island with more
I mean, they've
levels
set
and
the bar
bosses.
pretty high in terms of bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Even though I would pay $20 for DLC, if you're going to give me $20, if you're going to give me a DLC and charge $20, it might as well be Cuphead 2. Like, I want another full game of material. I don't think we're getting that.
We're not. But it is one full
Give me
island,
$10
so that means
for, like,
probably like 4 or 5 bosses, a couple of run and gun levels. Maybe I think there's going to be new power ups. Yeah, I'm stoked to see it.
Yeah. And
The delicious last course or delicious second course, I think is what they're calling it.
When I traded in my Switch and forgot to back everything up, I lost my save file because at one point I went to play this game and I'm like, I'm going to give some of these bosses another try on Expert. And that was when I realized I didn't have my save game anymore, so I just started fresh, and I had just as much fun with it the second time through. I haven't beaten it yet. But
Okay.
I was stuck on the dragon for a while. So I'm on the third world. I think I've beaten 2 or 3 bosses there, but I haven't done like the robot yet. There's some other that just suck in the third world.
That was my chair, by the way.
Oh, I thought that was...
No, that was my chair. That was my chair. We need new chairs.
I'm having just as much fun the second time. Like, this game is perfect to me.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, even though like we were playing through it together at the same time I was playing through it by myself, but even though like we beat it together before I beat it by myself, I didn't feel it didn't lessen it at all when I was playing it by myself. It wasn't like, man, I've already done this. I don't want to do this. And it was like, I can do this.
Right.
I think I can. And yeah, it was so much fun.
Yeah. So Cuphead number 4.
Goofied.
This is where certainly the next game, but I think starting with Cuphead, I would feel weird giving Cuphead my game of the year because you can make an argument.
Right.
We shouldn't even be counting it, but I mean, like I said, from here on up, they're 10 out of 10. So any of these could have been my game of the year.
Yeah. It's new to us, so it counts on our list because we can do the list however we want to do the lists.
That is correct.
Number 4, this is the one I struggled with 4 and 5. But at the end of the day, my number 4 is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
That's my number 3.
All right, let's tag team back again. I think this is my second favorite Metroidvania. I think it's only behind Symphony, and I think it's pretty darn close. And it's not just Prisoner of the Moment now.
Very close.
Because it came out like 7 months. I think it came out in May. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was May. Or it might have been June. It was right around the same time that Mario Maker came out, I think. But anyways, so it's not recency bias. It's not like I just beat it and was like, oh, this is the best thing ever. I love this game. I love the art style. Some people, like, that was one thing Colin's like, he loved the game. He just wishes it was just sprite-based. And I'm like, I get that. But I
remember
like
the first
2.5D.
time I saw it, I was like, I can't wait for this game. But also, there's something, and it was the graphics. At the time, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I'm like, there's something about this that's not jiving with me. And then once I saw the new graphics, I'm like, oh, I'm in.
Exactly.
And then I saw how it compared to the old one.
like,
I'm like, oh my
holy
God,
crap,
that was
that's-
definitely the problem.
that's
was
why,
the graphics.
yeah.
But I think the game is, again, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
This and Symphony are far and away the best Metroidvanias that I've ever played.
You can tell this is an Igavania game.
Yes.
Like, you can tell this wasn't done by, like, this isn't like a Mighty Number... Well, I mean, that was made by Inafune, sorry. But this isn't like a... The Messenger or Hollow Knight.
yeah.
And that's not to diminish those at all, but it's like... This is exactly after I'm so glad that I finally played Symphony. I don't remember if it was last year now.
It had to be 2018.
No, it was the year before because
Yeah.
that's why I got Metroidvania'd out by the time I got to Hollow Knight. That's what it was.
That's right.
So it was 2018. But I'm so glad I finally went back. I was like, no, I have to play this. And I just played it on my Vita. I haven't even played that. I should get the Requiem. It was on sale for $10 and I didn't grab it.
Oh, yeah.
A few days ago. I should get it just so I can play through that again. But like, I love this game. It's got a fun story. It was pretty obvious, pretty early. When I was like, what is this person doing? Like, I don't trust this person. And it turned out I shouldn't trust that person. Freaking David Hayter's in the game doing his snake voice as Zangetsu. Damn, that's still coming where you can play as him.
Oh, that's
There's
right.
still DLC coming for this. I don't remember
Yeah.
if it's free or not, but that'll make me get back into it. if it had, there was a little bit of jank. I did have some issues with slowdown and stuff like that. It's nothing like what happened on Switch. I'm glad we didn't play this on Switch because I think this would be way down on our list because they just recently patched it like a couple months ago. They finally got out all the bugs. But it had some issues here and there. But again, it's an independent game. Like, they don't have...
Yeah, I'm willing to accept some bugs in this versus Jedi.
Exactly. This isn't EA worth however many billions of dollars they're worth. This is EGA kickstarting a game that we all wanted to happen. I love all the different weapons. I like how there's the optional bosses. I like how there were some throwbacks that were very obvious to Symphony, both in characters and good and bad characters. You can, there's an homage. I'll just say that if you haven't played the game, there's an homage to the flipping castle. The castle doesn't flip in this, I'll say that, but there's an homage to it that works really well. I liked going through it and just being like, I don't know where to go next. Let me look at the map. Like, what is the last power up or like armor or something that I got? Where haven't I been on the map? Oh, there's that place where it's really high. I just got this thing. I should go there. What do you know? There's something that helps me progress and get through the spikes and stuff. Like, I love this game. I didn't platinum it. This guy did, so I'll let him really go into this game. But I should go back and platinum it. I should.
It's not going to be fun.
That's what just like, I don't want to grind.
I was still on the high of the game when I'm like, let's go ahead. But if you've been away from it this long and that's your experience when you go back, it's going to be tough. I mean, you can definitely do it, but it's not. The platinum was not fun. Yeah. Certain parts of it were, like making sure I killed all the enemies.
Yeah.
And, like, stuff like that was fun. But when it comes to like making all the recipes and getting all the weapons, it was just like, come on. But I am proud of getting that platinum.
You should be. But yeah, go ahead. You're number 3, Bloodstain.
I mean, what else? I don't remember there being too much jank with it. I know there's the issue where
there was the freezing stuff.
There's a thing where I had to start over because I don't know if I did, but I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and cut my losses. Yeah.
There was the item box that if you played before installing 1.01 or whatever it was
going to be opened or something.
Yeah, it would already be open and you couldn't get the item out of it that you needed to progress the game. Yeah.
So I started over. The other issue I had was there's this one time, it was during my platinum, I like went into the water. What was I think I was doing like the running thing or something. I did something where if you do it and then you end up in the water, you like can't jump out of the water. And I looked it up online, and this is something that plenty of people ran into. And I'm like, oh God, because it had been a long time since I saved. I'm like, if I just turn this off and turn it back on, am I going back to the last time I saved? Am I just going back to the beginning of this room? Yeah. Thankfully, I was like right there, so it wasn't a big deal. If I had lost my progress, I had played enough to where if I had lost my progress, I probably wouldn't have platinumed it.
No,
I would
no
have been like,
way.
nope, I'm done.
No way.
And I probably only lost like an hour, but there's something about it, especially when it's this kind of game. Not even this kind of game, but doing that kind of stuff that I'm like an hour.
When it's the grind and you lose that, it's just like,
it's not
no,
like a fun
I'm done.
hour. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they're obviously going for Symphony, and I think they nailed it. I would go so far as to say they're 1A, 1B, not even like a 1 and a very close 2. Like they're almost, I would still put Symphony above it, but they're so close that, I mean, this game is, I had high hopes for this game.
Would you say you had high hopes?
High hopes. And it exceeded it.
Me too.
Versus something like Link's
Jedi.
Awakening and Jedi that I had high hopes for, and they fell kind of short. This surpassed my way too high expectations.
Yeah.
So, yeah, number 3 for me, Bloodstain. Number 4 for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on to number 3.
I need to buy Requiem. I need to play. Yeah. I need to experience Symphony on the big screen. I know it's going to look weird because it's the pixely graphics on an 55-inch HD TV. I know it's going to look weird, whatever, but I don't care. I need to get that and play through it.
Yeah.
Number 3 for me, I thought a little bit more highly of this than you did, Link's Awakening. When I went into 2019, when this finally got announced, I think it was like March. I think it was March, because it was March, like a random direct in March. And I remember I tweeted, I was like, I'm gonna be driving home, guys, but if anything happens with Zelda, just hit me up. And then Sean's like, oh my god, and everybody's tweeting me. I'm like, what's happening? I was like, oh my god, it's a Zelda game. I gotta get home. I gotta watch this.
What's weird is when they announced that, when I just saw the water, I'm like, wait a minute. And then they showed like the boat in the storm. I'm like, there's no way. And then I saw it. I'm like, oh my god. And I don't know if it was just like the reveal, but I can't wait for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
But seeing this announced was maybe it's because we knew Breath of the Wild, maybe not literally Breath of the Wild 2, but we knew there's obviously always going to be another Zelda
mainline 3D.
This was
Zelda
one of those
game,
things that like everybody wanted it to be remade, but it's like, who knows if they'll actually do it.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why, but I was more hyped about this game when I first heard it was coming than I don't know what the last game was that I was that excited for.
I think we talked about this in the review. I think for both of us, it was Breath of the Wild. It was Breath of the Wild
Probably,
because it was also coupled with the Switch coming out.
Yeah.
It was a new console, and a lot of people saying the best game ever made. I don't think it's that, but it was right up there. That's the most hyped I was. Yeah. But yeah, so ever since it got announced, I was like, well, I know what my game of the year is. And again, it's my number 3 game. It's a solid for me. It's probably a 9 out of 10. But it didn't click with me as much as the other 2 GOATs. Well, the 3, excuse me. Zelda, A Link to the Past, and A Link Between Worlds, I think are definitely better than this.
Yeah.
But again, I'm still saying it's a 9 out of 10. Like, it's right there. Like, I think it's better than Minish Cap. Again, if you've been following this for a while, I never got to finish Minish Cap because I was playing it on an emulator, and the specific emulator I was using, whenever you go into this room in the final castle, it crashes. So I just looked it up on YouTube. I was very sad.
I think I'm in the minority. I'm absolutely in the minority. In hindsight, I think I would have rather they remade Minish Cap than Link's Awakening. Because I think even if they gave Minish Cap the Link's Awakening treatment, it's a Game Boy Advance game versus a Game Boy game. I think Minish Cap did some very cool stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And when you think about, not that the Switch is like the best graphics ever, but like just think about what the Minish Cap could look like. Mm-hmm. That game is awesome. That game suffered because it was on Game Boy Advance.
It's fantastic.
And
I loved it.
The Game Boy Advance has not aged well.
Yeah.
That if you remake that game, I would probably be just as excited as I was for this. And I think it'd be more likely to live up to my expectations.
More excited than if they did the 2 Oracle games?
Because I feel like those would be the same. Those are just Link's Awakening, but in color, basically. Yeah. Like, it's the same graphics, same... I don't think they really added too much to it.
Okay.
Whereas Link's Awakening... I mean, I guess they're all kind of like Link to the Past. They obviously all based what they're doing on that. I would be excited. I'm never going to not be excited about a 2D Zelda game, whether it's a remake or something new. So I would love anything they remake. I'm 100% in for. I think there's almost zero chance of them remaking Minish Cap because in the grand scheme of things, I don't think...
So relatively recent.
And just kind of obscure. Like, I don't think it really has like that cult following that certainly that Link's Awakening has, and probably that the Oracles have either.
Yeah.
I think they're way more likely, especially because the Oracle games are so similar to Link's Awakening in gameplay and graphics and all that, that it's almost a no-brainer to remake those. I don't think we'll get a Minish Cap remake, but I think I'd rather see that than anything else, than any other 2D remake.
I should just get that. I'm sure I can get it on my 3DS. I should just get that non-emulated and play it. But anyways, it's like Sean, it's a 26-year-old game. It's based on a Game Boy game. It's a Game Boy game that just, instead of going screen to screen, it's a seamless world for the most part. Sometimes I think it's still scrolled. I can't remember. It's been so long now. But it's still a Game Boy game with a pretty coat of paint, and it's still super obtuse like games were back then. Like, I don't want every game to like hold your hand, but like there's sometimes you get hints from people in this, and I was like, I don't know what the hell you're saying. The good thing is that it tracks all your conversations and it makes notes and stuff. So at least you can go back and reference stuff. But it's super obtuse. Like I remember when I got to that part where I was like, it looks like after I got the running jump, and there was like this place at the bottom of the map where there was like a ravine of, with water. And it's like
you should be able to just run and jump over it.
And it's like I feel like I would get right to the edge. And I was like, well, what the heck's going on? And I think I just needed the hook shot, and I got that really late in the game.
You can jump over stuff, but you can't. Even though you can jump that far, you can't jump over.
There's an invisible wall, but still, at the end of the day, it's a 2D Zelda, and those are not my favorite. I like. No, I don't know if I like 2D better than 3D. I probably like 2D better, or it's just a nostalgia thing or something. But my top six Zelda games are probably 3 3D and 3 2D. So I don't even know what I'm saying. I just love 2D Zelda games. We hoped we were going to get a new one. I remember talking on the podcast like 2-3 years ago, that there were rumors that the 3DS Link Between Worlds team was being moved to the Switch to work on a new Zelda project. But there was rumors that might have been just for the DLC for Breath of the Wild or something, whatever. But I'm glad we got a 2D Zelda. I don't think it should have been $60. $40 is what this should have been.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I said, it's still a 2D Zelda game. The dungeons were fun. The bosses were fun. It wasn't overly difficult. It wasn't very difficult, really. It was really just that one damn. I think it was like the second to last dungeon. I think or maybe the last one before you go in the Windfish.
I remember thinking the last 2, if not 3 dungeons were all more frustrating. That was it. I think the one before that, I do think that was the second to last one. I think there was one full dungeon after that. I can't remember what it was like. But the one before that one is the one where you can't really do much in the level because you need your boomerang for some reason to kill the wizards. Oh,
yeah.
And if you don't do the side quest, you don't get that boomerang.
And you have
there's
no way to know
that,
if you don't go visit
you
that
can
guy.
only kill those things with the boomerang for some reason. Like, it's just so... I'm guessing that's how it was in the original. So if you knew the original, you knew that's what you had to do. But
the boomerang is so OP in this game. It's not even funny. It is hilarious. You go from Zelda 1, like it just stuns you, and then this, it's like hitting somebody with 5 sword attacks or something. It was crazy. And I like the last boss, like all the nightmares and stuff and all the different forms. But even that wasn't that difficult. I think I only died once. But it was fun. The other thing I do wish was better in this was the dungeon builder. Like I was like, man, we're gonna get Zelda Maker, and I was like, no, it's just all the squares from all the dungeons. You can make your own version of those, but then it means like you can go from an ice room to a fire room to a water room to a forest room, and I'm like, this is not what I wanted.
And it's just taking rooms you've already beaten in the dungeons and just putting them together in a different order.
Exactly.
It's nothing really new.
It's nothing new. It's rooms you've seen before if you've played through the game. You got something for getting to a certain level, and I don't remember what it was. You got an item or a heart?
I looked it up.
I can't remember. I got something for getting through as much as I did.
What you get if you beat all of them is not worth it.
No.
I got as far as getting, I think, a heart piece. There may even be one more heart piece if you go.
I think it might be a seashell or something. Whatever I got in there, I think I needed to power up my...
You do get a seashell.
To go back to do the seashell thing to power up your sword all the way or something. I think that was the only reason I got, like... Within, like, I had 2 things left on that thing, but I got far enough that I got whatever that item was. I don't know. I do kind of want to go back and play it again, and now that my expectations are now in check, how would I feel about it if I played it again? I think it would still be just about the same. Whereas, like, Link Between Worlds, I remember when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is he doing on the wall? What did you do to my Link to the Past? What's going on? But then I heard it was great, and then when I finally played, when I finally played it a couple years ago, when you let me borrow yours before I got my 3DS, I was just like, "This is everything I wanted." Yep. And I was wanting to have that same feeling with this, and I didn't. But it's still my number 3 game of the year.
Kind of, which again, I was wrong to think this if I really thought this. I almost wanted a Link Between Worlds to Link to the Past. I wanted this to be to Link's Awakening, like. And I knew it wasn't, but it's almost like I wanted that. Like, have it be set in the same world. I don't know. Like, it could still be Link's Awakening, but maybe add some new cool thing. Like, the dungeons, I think, are a screen-for-screen remake of the original. Yeah. So, A Link Between Worlds was even though it's set in the same map, it's still very much its own standalone game. I kind of wish split the difference. Don't give me just Link's Awakening with Switch graphics. Don't give me a brand new game, but still call it Link's Awakening, but add some stuff to it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So that's it. Still my number 3. Sean, you're number 2. I know what it is.
Number 2 for me is Mario Maker. And Mario Maker with the much, much, much better Zelda Maker in it than we were ever going to get in Link's Awakening. I never played the original Mario Maker much, but I would have loved it if I had a Wii U. But I knew enough about it and had watched enough of it online to just be like, I cannot wait for Mario Maker 2.
Yeah, you only got to play it when you played on my Wii U, which wasn't much.
Right, yeah. This game it's everything I wanted it to be. They nailed everything that was good about Mario Maker. They improved on it. My only complaint is I did kind of like, even though there was really no purpose to it, I liked how in Mario Maker 1 you had all the different sprites you could be. I thought that was cool. I thought they were going to continue that.
Tall, skinny Mario was so freaking weird looking.
But instead, we just get Mario, Luigi, Toad.
Yeah.
And then they added Link, which was awesome. But I mean, this game has literally infinite replay value. I'm still kind of on the fence as to whether I don't even know if I like playing the levels or making levels more. I think I like playing them more, but it's also so much fun just to make them. The Zelda thing was such a welcomed addition that I never would have thought they would do. What I'm thinking, and I mean, I can see it now. You said it earlier, but you went the other way and said you don't think they will or they don't need to. I think a Metroid DLC is like, I mean, not DLC, but update, whatever, makes perfect sense.
But put it in Super Mario World. Do it 16-bit Samus instead of 8-bit Samus. I wasn't even thinking that. I don't know that I would like it better than... it almost makes more sense. I think it translates better, basically, with the
because
projectiles it's also
Zelda's supposed to be top-down. Yeah. But I mean, I can see it. You hit a block and you get the Screw Attack logo. That's what the thing would be that you get to become Samus. You can roll, you can drop bombs, just like Link's bombs that'll blow up the blow-upable blocks. Blocks. Blow up the blow-upable blocks.
Sean.exe.
Maybe there's an addition, like you can get a mushroom and then a fire flower. Maybe in this you can get, even though I already said Screw Attack, maybe you get some other thing that lets you literally do the Screw Attack where you can, or I guess it's more space jump. Maybe not the Screw Attack.
Or a phaser beam or something.
Right.
Like that would also break blocks or something, yeah.
I just think it makes perfect sense. It's the most obvious. It just seems weird that they'd be like Mario Maker and then, hey, now you can play as Link. But that's it.
We're not touching any other franchise.
It seems like it just makes so much sense to just keep that theme going. And I think Metroid makes more sense than anything.
Somebody mentioned Kid Icarus. I don't remember who it was, but I was like, you can kind of already do that with Link. I mean, he can shoot arrows.
Right,
like, what else?
I don't think there's enough.
No, I don't either.
Name. I don't know.
No.
I don't think it needs it. I think the game is already. I mean, it's my number 2 game of the year. I don't know when I will ever just be sick of this game. Like, I'm always going to go back to it. I think I'm racking my brain trying to think of something that makes more sense than Metroid to do as like the next thing.
Unless you can somehow make it work with like Donkey or Diddy Kong. But even then, it's such a different game. I mean, it's still a platformer, but it's such a different game.
Right.
Hell, Sonic.
That?
Like we talked when Sonic Mania came out, I was like, what if we'll ever get a Sonic Maker? We're both like, no, the levels are too... That it would be so
tough.
difficult because the level design in Sonic games, you have to do it so perfectly for it to even make sense. But maybe a Sonic power-up. I don't know.
The other thing they could do, which...
I know Sonic isn't Nintendo. I'm just saying, crossover.
The other thing they could do, which maybe is more likely than a Samus or just another character altogether. Allow Link in 16-bit.
Right.
I don't think they would ever go. I mean, maybe who knows where they'll stop, but it's already like we have 16-bit.
We have a 16-bit Link.
I don't know why they didn't do it, honestly.
Yeah.
Once you get into like 3D World, not even 3D World, but like New Soups, 3D World, Mario 3, you could almost just put the same sprites from 1 into.
Yeah.
Mario World, obviously you need Link to the Past Link. No reason that can't be done. But yeah, some of the levels that I've seen out there are just unreal. Like, I wish I had a fraction of the creativity of some of these people. Like, we all have the same tools.
Right. How does their brain work in such a manner to come up with this?
It's unbelievable. I'm in awe of what a lot of people have come up with in this game. But yeah, there's a reason I've spent more time in this game than any other Switch game and probably any other game on any system this year. This and Bloodstained both could have been my game of the year. So I think it's obvious what number 1 is, but Mario Maker 2 is my number 2 game.
Cool.
And your number 2 game is my number 1 game.
You figured it out. Number 2 is Resident Evil 2. Now, this wasn't to the level of Horizon Zero Dawn versus Breath of the Wild, but it was close. And after I played my number 1 game, I was trying to tell myself that it wasn't my game of the year because of how much I absolutely freaking love Resident Evil 2. But we'll get to that in a minute. Resident Evil 2 is, to me, survival horror perfection. It is definitely, and I would even say by far, at least for me, my favorite Resident Evil game ever made. It's better than 4. Now, if they remake 4 with this, then okay, that might be pretty damn tough to beat.
Now that they've made this game, it's hard to say.
And 3's coming next year. They're working on 4. They're not going to go 2, 3. Never mind. One of the most popular games ever made. We don't need to touch that.
4, outside of just the gameplay, like I guess the control. I mean,
really,
yeah, I guess the gameplay. It's just perfect. The way I like how they do all of the upgradable weapons and the upgradable your case.
Yeah.
And how you get the different gems, and if you get this gem and that gem and this thing that the gems go into, you can combine them and sell it for even more. Yep. And then it's just like 4 is really perfect. 2 to me, I think 2 is more consistently good throughout. I think 7 at its best is better than 2 at
7
its
its best is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah. And what I like about 7, like 2 is still very much Resident. Now see, perfect example. Resident Evil 2 compared to Resident Evil 2 Remake, that's what I wanted out of Link's Awakening.
And that's what I want out of my fictitious Metal Gear Solid 3 remake.
Exactly. You know? It works because Resident Evil is not supposed to be taken that seriously. It's obvious that they went for somewhat of a more realistic approach. But in Resident Evil 7, like, why would there be a police station with, like, we're going to lock all these doors and we're going to hide the keys inside of stuff? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Right. Resident
I
Evil
don't
7,
care. It doesn't take away from it. Resident Evil 7, it kind of makes sense that this weird guy living in this house would make these weird keys and like it fits because this is his house and he's this crazy guy versus why would a police station be made this way? And like Resident Evil 7, it's like
in a library.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I love so much about 7. I still say 7, at least the beginning, is survival horror at its best. I don't know that. I think it's because of, not only because, but I think the first person helped. But Resident Evil 2 certainly doesn't suffer for not being first person.
Yeah.
I feel like I get just as uneasy, maybe not uneasy, but just terrified playing this game as I did 7. 7 was more just uneasy. Like, I never know. Like, when I hear Mr. X, like, stomping around, I'm like, oh, God. Like, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to go through this door. Like, I know he's there. Versus Resident Evil 7, again, in the beginning, I'm like, I never know where this guy's going to come from. Like, I was just always on edge no matter what I do. 2 didn't get quite to that level, but it's still, it's perfect. And while I would love a 4 remake, and it almost makes too much sense because the way they're remaking 2 and 3 fits perfectly with 4, so I do think they'll do it. I think it'll be so much less of an improvement
because the game's already so good.
Yeah. The other thing I can say about Resident Evil 2 is the fact that it's my number 1 game, despite me, I'm as bad as anybody when it comes to being a prisoner of the moment. The fact that this game came out, the first week or two of the year?
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, now granted, I did go back and start a new game, but even before that, I'm like, this is still probably my game of the year. Now, once I went back in, it solidified. I'm like, this is my game of the year. But the fact that it withstood the test of time, where normally I'm like, well, whatever I play at the end of the year, like Final Fantasy 15, I only played it for like a week or two.
You're like,
that's my game of the year.
Yeah.
Looking back, I don't know what else came out that year, but that probably shouldn't have been my game of the year. Spider-Man was my game of the year, and it deserved it, even though it did come out pretty late in the year. The fact that this came out in January and still at the end of the year, I'm like, yeah, that game is perfect. To me, that's just a testament to how good it was.
I love this engine, this RE engine that they came up with. I think they improved on it from 7 to 2. It looks like they might even improve on it from 2 to 3, which is weird with it just being a year apart. And there was the rumors that these games were supposed to come out at the same time or in the same package, which I don't really believe that. You can make $120 or you can make $60. No, you make $120.
Yeah.
Because everybody that bought 2 is going to buy 3, I would assume. No, I'll just run through this and then I'll let you even go more.
I mean, I think I've said my piece, but
the combat I love the combat in this game. Claire and Leon feel different, and I like that. I like the branching stories. Again, with, like you were saying, if you think about it too much, it's like, well, if Leon's already been here, why am I having to collect these stupid medallions again?
Right.
He's not here. I'm not running into him. He's already gone through here. So it's like, once he opens that door, but he can come back in. But then it's a video game.
It's a video game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, Mr. X steals the show. He got robbed at the Game Awards for not winning sound design. Like, the game should have won sound design simply because of Mr. X.
Yeah.
Period. Like you said, it's just, and it's always like, and it's like, oh gosh. And if you've got, like, if you're playing on surround sound, it's like, oh God, he's above me. Or, oh, is he coming up those stairs? Like, you're hiding in a room. It's like, there's stairs there. Is he coming up or is he still under me? I don't know. Wait, they're getting quieter. I need to go. And then it's just like, oh, you thought they were quieter, but then you like turn down a hall and it's, I'm like, oh my God, he's here. I gotta run. I love that they also messed with Resident Evil, like, mythos, whatever you would call it. Like, normally it's not in a lot of areas. It's really just that main area of the police station. But if there's a spot where you can save, you're supposed to be safe. I remember the first time I went to save and then I looked around and I was like, oh my God. And then not only were there zombies in there, but the first time I was like, okay, I ran away. I'm in here. And then I look up the stairs and I see boom, boom. And he's coming down the stairs as I'm trying to save my game. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding? Like, now what the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
It was just so good. And even the puzzle solving was fun. There wasn't too much of it that was too annoying. I like the way that they did the map in this, where it's very clear if you try to open a door and you don't have the key yet,
it tells you
look at
what
the map,
that lock was.
There's a diamond now or a club or whatever. I'm like,
and how
like,
the rooms turn blue once you know you've done everything in there. Yeah.
It's probably one of the best maps in video games. And it's very simple,
yeah.
But it's just like, why don't more games do this? It's like, speaking of freaking going back. I know this is like the crap on Jedi
But,
Fallen Order
I mean,
podcast. I know it's different
Everything's
levels.
so flat in
Yeah.
Resident Evil. It's just levels. Boom, boom, boom.
I still think there's a better way to do it than that hollow map. Like whatever. Resident Evil 2, until November, it was without a doubt is my game of the year. And I'm shocked that it's not, but it's not. But it's still, like I said, it's my favorite Resident Evil. For me, I think it goes 2, 7, 4. Just because 4 needs... I know 4 is so good, and I loved it when I finally played it. But those controls still... It's not like Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 controls, but it doesn't control like modern third-person action games do. And if they just... Even if they didn't make it in the RE engine, like even if they would have, when they did the PS4 port that I finally played, if they would have updated the controls in that to where it just feels right, it would probably be my favorite Resident Evil. But for now, 2 is my favorite.
Yeah, I think 7... Gosh, I don't know. I think just as from a pure video game standpoint, I think 2 is the best. 7, it's almost like more of like an experience or something.
Yeah.
And 7's not perfect, but there's something special about it, I think is what it comes down to. This is just a perfect game. It is a perfect survival horror game. Resident Evil 7 starts off with a bang, goes kind of down after that. This game is like scary. It's terrifying. Whereas 7 is more just like this uneasiness, mostly throughout, but to just ungodly levels in the beginning.
Well, and the first time you get into the boathouse where Marguerite is, she's
God.
walking around with her little thing, and then you got all the bugs and stuff. I need to go back and play 7 again.
That's so good. I don't know. I think from a pure video game standpoint, 2 is probably the better game. Almost definitely the better game. But there's something special about 7 that will, I think, forever hold that special place in my heart. But 2 is probably the better video game. That's all I got. So your number 1? I can't imagine what it could be.
Obviously it's Death Stranding. I've never been more surprised by a game, and I really, really hope that you stick with it. I'm not saying it'll be your game of the year. I'm not saying that at all. But there is something about this game that it just absolutely hooked me. And one of the reasons I finally realized, I was like, no, this is my game of the year. Stop fighting it. It's like when I wasn't playing this game, and I think I said this when I reviewed it, when I wasn't playing this game, I was thinking about it. And I was thinking about what I had to do next. And I was trying to figure out what the heck is going on in the story and trying to figure out, you know, is this character really on my side? Because I don't know that I trust him, and I don't know what's going on over here. And what was the next packages I had to deliver? And I can't wait till I get that next upgrade. And it was like, it's the game I haven't been able to get out of my head the most since, well, God of War, but Breath of the Wild. Actually, probably more. I thought about this more than God of War, because God of War is more just very my third favorite game of all time. This is not on that level. It's not. But like Breath of the Wild, I could not stop. The last 2 games that I thought about this much when I wasn't playing them was the first time I played Metal Gear Solid 5 and Breath of the Wild. Like I was just like Metal Gear Solid 5. I just remember driving around being like, oh, I could Fulton that.
Yeah.
I'm going to want to stick a a teleporting parachute to that thing and suck it up and take it back to Mother Base. No game has ever... It's my ride with this game is so weird, from my favorite E3 ever, I think, 2016, where he walks out on the stage and they show him from overhead, and it's like the stage is lighting up with every step he takes and the crowd's going wild, and he just says, "Hey, I'm back," and he gives like a thumbs up, and then he shows the first trailer. And I remember thinking, this is not going to be whatever this game is. He just had to throw this together in an engine to give a concept for what the game's going to be. Everything that's in that first trailer, with him waking up on the beach and it's naked and he's got the fetus and he's got his handcuff, all that made it to the game. Yeah. And I was like, he must have been thinking about this as he was winding down on 5. I don't think he wanted to make 6, even if he stayed. So I think he was thinking about, what can I do next? And he must have already had this pretty much fully formed in his head. And then Sony approached him and he was like, yeah, I'd like to work together. And I got an idea. And they're like, I don't know. But again, like Chris on Colin's podcast has said, and I agree, like he said, like if he were an executive at Sony and Kojima pitched this game as a delivery hiking simulator where you're connecting Wi-Fi networks, they would have been like, what the hell is wrong? And no one but Kojima could get the green light to make this game.
Yeah.
But because it's Kojima, they gave him the green light, and I just freaking love it. But yeah, no game has ever exceeded my expectations more. Like I was so high after E3. The next couple trailers, I was so high. And then once we finally started seeing gameplay, really like just over the last year, I think, like the first gameplay trailer, it was just Norman walking. And I was like, well, this is weird. Well, it turns out that's gameplay, because that's what you do. You walk, and you walk a lot. Did you watch that video I sent you? There's some glitch where like,
oh yeah, there was just like,
yeah, I looked up how to, and that guy, Big Saru, I found him back in the heyday of Metal Gear Solid 5. He is just, he does things in Metal Gear Solid 5 that I didn't think were possible. Like he knows how to manipulate the AI, and he knows how, like he can walk right by soldier. Like the soldier will be like walking like this, and he'll be Snake right next to him walking like this. And he's like, hey buddy. And you're just walking, and he doesn't it. And so I found out how to do that glitch. I haven't tried it, but yeah, you can go really fast across if you get it right. It's like you jump and then you go like square triangle, square triangle, square triangle, or something, and it like interrupts the animation and whatever. The story's awesome. I'm not going to spoil it because I do want you to play through it. It's great. It is crazy as it is, and I know, like you said, you have no idea what's going on. I didn't either. You start to learn more, and again, once you get through chapter 3, and again, I hate saying, we'll give it 15 hours, it gets really good. But once you get through chapter 3, which you can probably do in about 12 hours, if you're not diddling around like I was, which you don't need to, just mainline this game. It opens up, you start getting the power-ups up, you get through the world easier, you start to get some weapons to deal with the people bad guys and the ghost bad guys, and the story as you go on, it starts to make more and more sense. You think you know where it's going, and then it's not like there's a Kojima twist. Well, there is, actually. There's a Kojima, it's not like a Raiden or a Snake,
right,
kind of. It's nothing like that, but there is a twist when you finally get to the end that I kind of saw coming, then I didn't think I did, and then I was like, oh crap, yeah, I was right. But it's a great story. It's probably my favorite soundtrack ever in a game, and it's not just the Traversa song that I can't get out of my head, and I just listen to just about every day. I love it. It's the perfect end cap to the game. It's so emotional. The ending is amazing. When that's playing over the credits, I was just like, oh my god, what a freaking game. And I actually really did like the gameplay at first. The funny thing is, so when I first did it, you know how you first start out, you crash the bike, you're there, and then you hit the thing, and you gotta basically make your way to the cave to where Fragile is. I was like, I don't know where to go, and I was super pissed because I was like, what the frick am I doing? I tried to go like, I didn't notice that there was just a very clearly defined walkway to go like under this thing to go this way.
I got stuck there too. I'm like, I don't know. How am I
kept
already
trying to go
lost?
up, and I was like, I don't know what the hell to do.
Thing.
But once I got through that, I was like, okay, you really got to do the scanner, pay attention, look at the terrain, and go from there. I loved the gameplay. Some of the shooty parts weren't my favorite, but some of them were fun. When you start to fight some of the big bosses that you've seen that was a weak one.
Big bosses
that you've seen in the trailers and stuff. It is fun, and it kind of makes sense. But I love just the basic gameplay. Like I didn't think I would. Like when we got to, like I said, when we got to these gameplay trailers and stuff the last year, I was like, you can like trip over a rock. What the hell is going on? But I didn't until I actually played it, and like I just fell in love with it. I probably can't even say why. I just absolutely love the gameplay in this. And if you don't like it, I get it. Not you, the royal you. Well, you too, but everybody.
Yeah.
I do wonder like what the lasting effect of this game will have on the gaming industry. I don't think anybody's ever going to make he was trying to make his own genre of Strand games. That's not going to happen.
Right.
Because then you're just you can't make this without just copying it. But it is so funny that like we've always just, for as long as we've been playing video games, you've never really had to worry about the terrain you're on, unless you're like walking into lava. It is, you know what I mean? Like you've never had to worry, like if you're walking or running, you're walking or running. Like God of War, when I run. I don't have to worry if there's something under the snow or if the slope is too steep and I might fall down or whatever. Like you're focused on everything else because you're supposed to be, because they're action adventure games and stuff. But it's like, it's almost like resetting your mind to be like, okay, this isn't that. You can make it that if you want. Like you can go right to the mule camps and you can fight these guys and you can throw your cargo at them and knock them out and you can shoot them if you want. And you get non-lethal weapons. And when you get the bolo gun, that's a lifesaver. That made it so much easier dealing with those guys. But it's just like the total package of this game I just absolutely love. And I never, going into this year, I never thought Death Stranding, well, first, I didn't think it was even going to come out this year. But especially as we got to know more and more about it, I was like, man, I don't know. And then the reviews came out, and IGN gave it a 6.8, and I was like, oh, no. But then Metacritic was like an 84, 85, whatever it settled on. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I think that's about what Jedi was as well. And I'm like, I don't know. I just love this game. I really hope you stick with it, especially since we've got, like we said, 2 months till Final Fantasy. There's no other games unless I'm just buying games on my 50 Platinum Quest. There's no more games I'm buying this year until Final Fantasy comes out. There's at least nothing that I know of. Now, if they just say Streets of Rage 4 is out next week, I'll be like, okay, I'm here. Or Cyber Shadow. Those, we know Streets of Rage is the first half of 2020, but we don't have a date. But other than that, I'm like, there's some heavy hitters coming from March really until the end of the year. I hope you want to play it. Like, I'm not going to force you to play it, obviously, but I hope you want to stick with it to see it through and see why is my game there.
See, I'm torn because I want to play it, but it's so. I want to see what the big deal is. I just don't like the fact that it's like, well, yeah, I know it's not very fun for the first 12 hours, whatever it is, but trust me, after that, it's good. Like, well, I wish if I could just skip to there, then I'd be all in. Because then it sounds like it's fun the rest of the way.
And it's not that it's not fun early on. It's more that it's like, it's still the same basic mechanics of reconnecting the United Cities of America, going from here to there, managing your cargo, doing the terrain. But like even after you get past about chapter, like you start to see roads, like you get access to roads. Like when you get to this next area after actually that's in chapter 3, I think the roads start. So then if you get a bike, and again, it depends on if you've connected the locations there, because that's what gives you access to what everybody else has built. But if somebody's built a road, you get a road. If you got a bike, you don't have to worry about like trying to jump over rocks and stuff. You get on the road, and everything is battery operated in this. There's no gas. So if you ride on the road, there's a middle center line, which is really easy to stay on. And if you stay on that line, you don't use any battery power while you're on the road. So then once you get to the part where the road ends, you can be like, okay, now do I want to keep going? Or do I want to just go on foot? Depends where I'm going. What's the terrain, blah, blah, blah. I will say, when you come to water, when you're on a bike, if it's just blue, and even if it's yellow and if it's just like not a big gap you have to cross, I didn't realize it at first. I would have made some of my earlier trips easier. You can drive through that joker.
Really?
I was just like, crap, my bike's probably going to just short out. No, you can drive right through and keep going. So just remember that. But yeah, it's not that it's not fun at the beginning. It's just you don't have as many tools at your disposal. And I think it's really because you're in... This is what I think it is. I just thought of this. It's just because you're in Chapter 3 for so long that you're like, oh my God, when am I going to get out of here? It's not really that the gameplay isn't fun. It's just that stretch, it's by far the longest chapter in the game. And it's so early on that you don't have all these other tools, and you haven't connected a lot of areas, so you don't have access to a lot of things that other people have built yet, that it's just like, ugh, when am I going to get through this? But once you do, it takes off.
Yeah. No, I'm certainly not just going to give up on it. It's just, it's tough getting the, like, not since the, I guess, really first, and I'm trying to think if I've only played it one time or if that was over 2 sessions, but like, I think it was just one session because the first time I went to play it, I had to download it, install it, and I ended up playing Octopath instead.
Oh, and that's the other thing. If you didn't, because I don't know if you ever, I don't know how you'd even know, but if your update, if the game had only installed but you hadn't got the latest update, then the text size won't be bigger. So I still think that might, next time you play it, you might go, oh God, thank God it's bigger now. It's not a huge difference, but it is a difference. But
maybe.
Continue.
It's just, I want to get to the part where it really gets going. But knowing the fact that I'm like, well, I got to put another 10 hours in and I'll get there. It's so tough to like.
Yeah.
It's like, when can I invest a couple hours to start like just trudging through this so I can get, and it's like, once I get to the fun part, I would have no problem playing, for an hour or 2 at a time when I get the time. But now it's like I can play an hour or 2 of that to just be an hour or 2 closer to the fun part, or I can just play Octopath, which is an hour or 2 of fun parts. Like,
right.
It's tough getting the motivation just get into it and go to push through this part. That's where I'm struggling.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But no, it's not like I'm going to give up on it. I can't envision a scenario where I don't beat this game. It's just getting motivated to play it. It's like I have to force myself to play it knowing or hoping that it's going to get better later on.
And I think that's one, just know that there is a light at the end of the end. There's a light at the end of the tunnel that is chapter 3, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But I'm not even to that tunnel yet.
Because chapter 2 is when you start actually getting out in the world. And then the ending to chapter 2 is kind of cool. I don't even want to ask you any questions because I can't remember when some of the cool stuff.
Not much has happened yet.
Okay. Did you get a cutscene?
Several.
Did you get the one with the guy when he gives you a ride in the truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what happened, but I saw it.
It'll all, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. Our top 10 games of 2019. This went about as long as I thought it would. So we are not going to record versus tonight, but it'll be here this month. Don't worry. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully you stuck around for the whole thing. If you did, you're crazy. We love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much. As always, you can find us at nerd901.com, where they're connecting nerds across the Mid-South and the multiverse. And always check out our buddy Ernie, the Blur Without Fear, at youtube.com/Blur Without Fear. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at Kevin White 24. He's at Real Sean White. Together, we're at 2player_. Was that a bracket.com? Wait, what? It's dot.
It's
.com. Patreon, Twitch, YouTube, all that stuff. We're on audio services everywhere. Drop us a 5-star review. Make Dustin Star proud. I need to start saying this stuff at the beginning. I need to update my thing, because when you get to the end, when we're just doing this, is anybody even listening? If you are, thank you. Aunt Sue, are you still watching? No. Y'all know where to find us. Oh, we're up to 12 views on Facebook. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, whoever's checking
or
us out
random
on Facebook,
people.
great.
But thank you so much. We're gonna start posting this stuff over there too. Yeah. There's no point not to. It's just an easy copy and paste. Click the button. I don't know what I said. Click the button. That's it. Episode 165. What are your games of the years? I should have said this earlier because you're probably not hearing it. Games of this year. Games of the last year. Games of 2019. Am I crazy for Death Stranding? I might be. But yeah, let us know what your game of the year is in the comments down below. We'll be back next week. But until that time, Sean, go ahead and take us out.
Thank you for playing.